When we last continued, we started dating our lovely demon boyfriend Omen and started unwinding the mysteries of what the fuck's going on, but that's not important. We're dating a demon and also a Lycan because there's an option where you can add in a polyamorous trio between you, Omen, and Alcar. And of course I said yes because I'm polyamorous and I really need the rep, so now I'm dating both Omen and Alcar. Yippee! I venture deeper into the catacombs, the darkened tunnels becoming somewhat familiar to me now. I hear a quiet laugh and I smile to myself as a figure appears from the shadows. Finn? Oh, it's Raven! What's cooking, good looking? Woman, hot girlfriend, hot goth girl, hot not so big titty goth GF. Listen. I do like you and I think you're cute and I wish that you were a romance option because I do like goth girls. But unfortunately you're not, and plus I'm pretty sure Finn would kill me because you're kind of his daughter. So, yeah. Hello, Raven. May I escort you to Lord Kazumar's lair? I mean, not that you have a choice, I'm terribly bored. I begin walking, Raven falls into step by my side. Though she walks backwards, those crimson eyes not leaving my face even for a second. Why are you bored? Sun's up, can't do much other than annoy Finn, and now that you're here to do that, I assume? More like work, I suppose. She snorts again, and it's quickly becoming a familiar sound. He works too much. All of you do. Listen, I'm an enforcer. It's kind of my job to protect the people because they're not going to do it themselves because it's the government. And she skids to a stop in front of me as we reach Finn's door, her hand raised. Listen, I just want you to know that we have your back. Not that Finn wouldn't have already told you that, but it's important to me that you know. The way she looks at me tells me I can believe her, that Raven is loyal to a fault, and that I'm lucky to have such allies. Thank you, Raven. I appreciate that. Sweet. Now go do your boring important people stuff, I guess. I'll try not to interrupt. Thanks, Queen. In a flash, she's gone, absorbed by the darkness. What a woman. The door to Finn's room opens with a quiet creak before I can raise my fist to knock. He greets me with a smile. Afternoon. Please, come in. I eagerly step inside. The candlelight that flickers in his lavish quarters is slightly more inviting than the dark hallways. I heard Raven lurking. She didn't bother you, did she? I shake my head as he moves to lean against his desk. She was fine, if not a little strange. He tilts his head this way, and that feigning tossing around a deep thought in his mind before grinning. Strange is her specialty. I mean, she is a vampire, so... We should discuss Fiyero. Discuss what Piper and I found down there. Oh yeah! Piper and I went down to into the prison last time, and we found Fiyero. Yes, we should. I have some concerns, I'm sure you do. What could they want with his blood, Finn? I'm no expert, but if I'm not mistaken, vampire blood can be harmful to anything that isn't of your kind. He stares off into the distance for a moment. The look is pensive, as if he's considering his next words very carefully.
What do you know of your initiation? Of what they put you through when you're chosen?
I don't know. I open my mouth to respond, but I find myself having nothing to say. I remember little of what happened back when I was a child, back when I first arrived at the academy. I remember waking up and feeling different, feeling strong. I frown, frustrated that I can't recall such a pivotal moment in my life, the moment that quite literally made me who I am. I can feel him watching me carefully, and when I meet his gaze, his eyes are sad.
I know little of what they did to make you the way you are, but I've been around long enough to hear rumors.
Oh?
Nothing about what's happening here adds up. Of that much I'm sure.
Oh?
The only person who has answers is Harry. But we can't even trust the man who swore to lead and protect you.
Yeah, because he's part of the government and he's obviously the villain. If they're taking Fiyero's blood, it's not with good intention. Vampire blood can be incredibly dangerous if used with malicious intent. We need to get him out of there. So I'm guessing they're probably using his blood for like a steroid, maybe? I don't know, that's just my guess. I search my brain for ideas, solutions, anything. The silence we stand in is heavy with our contemplation and something hits me. When I first encountered the creature, it almost felt like I'd been enthralled. As if it had compelled you to just freeze, it manipulated you. Oh! Maybe the creature's full of vampire blood, because if I remember, Finn has the ability to, like make you stand still because of his vampire powers, like his eyes. So maybe, like, the government made a creature like that, and they put vampire blood in it. I don't know. I'm, like, at so many theories right now. It's insane. Manipulated. And something clicks. Ask about Fiyero's abilities, ask about the rumors. Ask about Fiyero's abilities. Fiyero is an empath, right? You can feel emotion and manipulate it? Yes, and he's incredibly powerful. Levi wouldn't have looked at him twice if he wasn't different. There are other vampires that have such abilities. Even I can influence people's thoughts, but not to the extent that he can. I think about the implications of that kind of power falling into the wrong hands, how they leave me feeling leaden in place. Can these abilities be transferred, say, through consuming his blood? I can't say I've ever heard such a thing been done, but it's certainly not impossible. That creature, if it has been given his blood, why? What could that possibly achieve? I take a deep breath trying to gather my thoughts. Already, they're heavy in my mind at what this might mean. Something new, something powerful. Ask about the rumors. Do rumors you've heard about the initiation, can you tell me? He grips the edge of his desk, the wood creaking beneath his fingertips.
There are many things about the agency's practices that I've heard over the centuries. None of them are particularly kind, but most sound too far-fetched to be plausible. My personal favorite is that hunters grow on trees. Were you grown on a tree?
I don't think so. I don't believe I have been, but I don't know. Stranger things have happened, who knows? I laugh, rolling my eyes. Point taken, not all of them are exactly sane rumors then. No, but with everything that's been going on around here, stranger things have happened. Ah, I just said that! He read my mind! It's true, he can read minds! I process everything as best as I can on such little sleep, yet again feeling out of my depth, but somehow closer to the truth. Our priority is getting Fiero out of there, but we also have other concerns to attend to. I can have the clan work on an extraction plan. Now we know exactly where he is. Leave that to us. At least that's one less thing for you to worry about, right? Though, I could use your help enlisting Merriman to assist. We could do with someone on your side. Consider it done. You'll let me know if you need me too, though, right? He nods, reaching to the door to open it for me. Of course. Now stay safe, won't you? I will. Just need to see Ezra about our little demon friends. Well, have fun with that, Yui, and good luck. Ooh, do I get to see one of my boyfriends and his sister? The shop is busy when I arrive, but Ezra does an excellent job of remaining professional when he spots me. I linger in the corner while he rings up his final customers, surveying the volumes upon volumes of magical literature he has on display. The sleepy white cat from before is curled up on the countertop, and she lazily raises her head when I approach as the bell signals that the final customer is left. Her eyes glow a vivid aquamarine, and she's certainly unlike any female I've ever seen before. Her name is Coco. He scratches her chin, and she purrs her thanks before gracefully jumping down, heading for the back room with a swish of her tail. Coco! And she's a little white cat. That doesn't fit at all, but I love her. I love Coco. We love cats in this household. I mean, obviously, I'm literally a cat girl, but still. She's got a bit of an attitude problem. I think I've spoiled her a little too much. How long have you had her? He's not twisted aside while he thinks. She followed me home one night when I was a child, maybe 10, 11 years ago. Damn, she's an old cat then. She's not exactly a normal cat, but I've never really bothered to find out what she might be or where she's from. She's just Coco. We'll value her privacy. Fair enough. I think she might be a demon of some kind, most likely, if she's lived for at least 11 years, because that's an old cat.
What can I do for you? Is it about the tall, blonde, utterly terrifying woman you sent my way last night?
Yes. I grimace, taking a deep breath, and mine is once again overflowing with revelations, new information I barely had time to process. Sorry about that, but no, I had a chat with our demon friends. I study his expression carefully, but I see nothing to indicate that he has any idea what I'm about to say. And how adept are you at closing hell portals? What? I almost can't help but laugh at the way his eyes widen. Then a flicker of realization, his shoulders sinking under the weight of it.
Oh no, I can't believe I didn't think to check. I've been so caught up with everything else that I just... Fuck.
Ah, he swore! He swore! The boy next door swore! Oh, I'm gonna tell! I believe in you. We have no choice. I believe in you. He's obviously distressed that such a thing could fly under his radar, and I gather that Ezra has quickly put the puzzle pieces together. Ezra isn't stupid. He knows what this means, what the tear between realms has brought upon this town. We can and will fix this. There must be a spell, a ritual. He clears his throat, snapping himself from his daze.
Yes, I mean, there will be, not that I'm familiar. It will require a great deal of research, and I doubt I'll be able to do that alone.
August? He smiles.
August is very powerful, as I'm sure you can already tell. So, with their help, hopefully it's something we can achieve.
I don't doubt either of you for a second. I look at him as he processes all of this, his fingers visibly twitching at his side, eyes flicking to the endless rows of books that line his walls. Ezra, I know you can do this. Please don't worry. He offers me a smile, but it's a sorry thing, timid almost.
I'm glad that you have some faith in me at least. I'm just so angry with myself. I was the first person Omen found when he arrived. I should have known.
I tended to his wound, saw the markings. I should have checked. It happens. You just saw a person in need first, so that was like your first thought. Markings? Thinking back to the odd way that Omen rubbed his neck. Demons from other realms often have a sigil or rune that grants them access to their home, so it makes sense for him to have one, I suppose. But healed? To what extent did Omen go to? You should ask Omen. It isn't my place. Of course, but I think you can give yourself a pass on this one. It isn't exactly common to have a Prince of Hell stumble into your shop, is it? Takes him a moment, but a small smile crosses his lips.
I appreciate the faith you show in me. I'll try my best. Anything to keep the town safe.
Now, do you want to tell August or shall I? The very loud burst of laughter tells me I might be the one tasked with such a pleasant conversation. Excellent. Oh joy! I get to talk to my boss. Oh, never mind, we're talking to Piper. Nice, Pog. Piper opens the door with a smile as I advance to the next stop on my tour. Afternoon, just gonna stand there or what? I roll my eyes, kicking off my boots as I enter. We take a seat apart on the sofa, Piper tucking her feet beneath her, relaxing in her surroundings. I had an eventful evening. She sits a little straighter, eyebrow quirked in interest. Oh yeah? Yes, with your favorite cultist, actually. The noise that she makes is interesting. Her? How awful for you, my sympathies. Rather you than me, though, I suppose. What gives? Oh, you know, the usual. Just her making friends with the thing terrorizing us. Normal cultist stuff. I wish I could say I'm surprised. Was it at least a productive conversation? Yes, it helped, which is better than nothing, right? Better than nothing. I take a deep breath, considering my next words carefully. We should talk about Aya, about what we found down there. Her shoulders slump and she averts her gaze, her eyes sad. Yes, I haven't stopped thinking about it all. Firo, Aya, everything.
How can we work for people who do that? Who forge records, who imprison their own for nothing?
You don't really know much about the government, do you? Aya's innocent, that much I know. And Azazel, he's down there because he supposedly got attacked? It continues to make no fucking sense. I agree with her, but we have little time for frustration. We have to begin acting, now. The clan are preparing to get Firo out of the dungeons. We can't leave him in there. Not now we know that what they're doing. Finn was wondering if you wouldn't mind assisting them. Of course I will. Anything to stick to those arseholes enforcers. Hell yeah! Stick it to the man! Government! Fuck the government, I meant! Mention Firo's blood, leave it. I'm gonna save it here just in case. I'll mention Firo's blood. I feel a little stupid for having such an idea, but after what Finn told me about the blood, I can't get it off my head. When I encountered the creature, it was almost as if it had thralled me, like it sapped away all my free will. Piper frowned, shifting a little closer, waiting for me to continue. What if they're taking Firo's blood to give it to this creature? To make it stronger, better? She takes a while to respond.
If they are, why? Why would they need to mess around with the things we're supposed to be killing? Our purpose is to rid the planet of those things, not to make them stronger.
Ooh will? That's the worst time for an ooh will. She's right, it makes no sense. We need to figure out their endgame, and fast. I paused, watching her carefully. She looked so tired. How are you doing after all this? She huffs a quiet little laugh, shrugging. I don't really know.
Before all of this, I was just angry. Angry that I got punished for caring too much, which isn't something I ever really did before. Now I just feel numb.
Paris, now's not the time for an ara. Piper is sad that her friend is being, prisoned right now. There, I hope you're happy, because now Piper's confused. And maybe a little horny, I don't know. It's going to be okay, Piper. It has to be. Right. How could it possibly get any fucking worse? I grimace and Piper laughs. Don't say that, now we're really fucked. With a groan, I reluctantly tear myself from the comfort of her sofa. The mere thought of dragging myself across the street to the wolf makes me want to weep, but I really should check in with August. I need to go and visit our dear enforcer. Have fun with that, I suppose. She crinkles her nose in disgust, and I can't help but laugh at the expression. Thanks a bunch. Head for the door, turning to look at her one last time when she yells, "Wanna be ya?" Yeah, you really wouldn't. In the aftermath of what we learned, August and Ezra were quick to action, gathering supplies and the instruments required to perform the spell. That was the first day. Then time stretched on. 1 day, 2 days, 4, a week. Knowing that everything was leading up to this moment and that it might not even work was stressful to say the least. Can I, get moments to, hang out with my boyfriends? That'd be great. What if they couldn't close it? What if the creature's still that strong without his unseen force feeding it? Those worries lingered, but I found ways to distract myself. I hunt, nightly. I spend time training with Piper, studying with August. There's also Owen and Alcar. Still moments within amongst all the chaos, moments that only solidified my feelings for both of them. Then a knock at my door one night. The news I've been waiting for. They found the spell? I step outside just in time to watch the sunset over the horizon. The sky darkens and the clouds are tipped with orange, then purple, until all that hangs over me is endless black. Somehow I feel lighter than ever as I head for the forest, a funny kind of hope settling in my gut. Ezra and August are strong alone, but together? I think back to the moment in Ezra's shop, the reconciliation between the two, the shift in how they hold themselves, a weight finally released. Together, I know that they're unstoppable. There's only one way to find out. Omen and Elaine had entered our realm right on the edge of town, just as the cobblestone fades into the dirt. The trees are denser here, everything a little less ominous. I find Ezra and August exactly where they said they would be, both of them looking a little pensive. Yui, right on time. And now you don't suffer tardiness. Very good. Now shall we get on with it, I suppose? Ezra has already laid out his supplies, a neat little pile of strange things you could only ever find in a magic shop. There's also a symbol drawn on the forest floor that looks startlingly similar to a pentagram with a few minor changes. Ezra catches me looking and offers me a shrug as if saying, "Of course that's closing a portal to one of the many hells would require such a thing." Just another day in Lunaris, exactly. There's no such thing as a normal day in Lunaris. Let's just get this over with. He pulls a vial from his belt, the liquid dark and viscous. From my experience, I recognize it as demon blood. Omen gave it willingly. I didn't stab her or anything. I think we know that, Ezra. No, I don't. Did you stab my boyfriend? Just checking. He pours the blood upon the ground at their feet, the faintest shimmer shining in the grass when it makes contact. They join hands and begin chanting. Minaz mina aim alni, from the fire of earth. Ke mina aim saz, to the fire of hell. Ooh, pretty. Ooh. The shimmer grows in luminosity. It pulses brighter, brighter still, until it's almost blinding. I step back, watching as their grip on one another tightens, their eyes aglow, legs shaking. Ezra almost falters, but August holds him steady and gives him strength. Kesasai nut yisaz. We call to he who rules this realm. Iza yis koka. Close this gate. The ground beneath our feet rumbles. It stutters and shakes from their inner incantation. A vibration I feel deep in my bones. Yais yis koka. Close this gate. Then, stillness. Silence. Did it work? Slowly they release one another, exchanging appraising glances at their current state. There is some haggard breathing, but they're apparently fine. He turned her attention back to the tear. Or former tear. Oh, did it work? Is it done? Did it work? Perhaps the question was too soon. It tumbles out before I can stop it and echoes loudly. Yet, if seeing that hazy portal wink out was anything to go by, I damn well better
I
ask.
think it did. The energy still lingers, but I no longer feel anything pulling at me. Not like I did when we first arrived.
That's something. That it worked.
The only way to know for sure is to get Omen or Elaine to check for us.
Alright, well, let's get him. Ezra's interrupted by a chorus of yelling and terrible screaming. Uh-oh. As if all at once, the air is kicked from our lungs, and whatever brief moment of relief we had is extinguished at the sound.
It's coming from town. We need to...
I'll clean up here. Go, I've got this.
Oh shit! We both look at him, hesitant, but time is of the essence and we know we have no choice. Stay safe. Head straight home as soon as you're done. You've exhausted yourself enough for one evening. I will. Oh shit! Is it the creature? Lunaris is in chaos. There's blood on the streets of its owner. I'm not entirely sure, but I know exactly what it is the second I see Piper rushing towards us, her daggers drawn, her aura thrums with adrenaline, and it bleeds unto mine at her approach.
Report.
It's that thing I saw with my own eyes. Ugly motherfucker, isn't it? Oh shit. Where is it now?
It was heading straight for headquarters. Had this mad look, like it couldn't see anything else. The witches scared it off and distracted it. It scurried into the forest, but I couldn't catch it.
Good. No one should face it alone. Yuli's right. We cannot risk losing anyone else. Especially not you two. We have to end this. Are we ready? Are we ready? My heart races. It's uneven. Thump rattles my ears. Oh shit, we're fighting! It's monster fighting time! I can't help but feel like we're not ready for this, but we might never be ready. But it's my duty. I look at the townsfolk and see the fear in their eyes, and I know that it's time. We should... Yes, we've got no time to waste.
I'll stay here. They're afraid. This is their nightmare. I can at least try to make sure they feel safe.
I look off into the distance, the forest calling to me. The tips of my fingers tingle. Every nerve ending set alight as my adrenaline spikes. Well, I'm the thing that the monsters have nightmares about. Let's finish this. Hell yeah, let's go, boys. Monster fighting time. We head towards the forest, leaving this town in chaos behind us. I stop dead in my tracks as the house fade out. Something telling me to pause, to think. August, you should stay with Piper just in case it... I pause, taking a breath. I can handle this. Hunter and Nyampasu, I don't doubt that, but... I hate to leave you alone. I smile at them, and they throw me an incredulous look. I won't be alone. They frown, their eyes flicking towards the tree line, and when they relax, I suspect that they exactly see what I see. Very well. I'll fall back, keep the townsfolk safe. They reach out and place their hand upon my forearm, squeezing gently. Their eyes are sad but earnest, proud.
Show it no mercy, just as it has shown none to us.
Yes, Enforcer. And I'm guessing Alcar is deep in the forest. I'm not knowing I won't let them down. Any of them. Yes, General. Reluctantly, they turn on their heel, immediately barking orders at a group of enforcers that scurry towards them. I hear them before I see them, a heavy sigh, a scuff of bare feet in the grass, followed by a curious pair of wide brown eyes. When I turn, Alcar is standing right before me, the scowl firmly fixed upon his handsome face. I knew he was there. And my other boyfriend, Omen! What's all this commotion about? Stinks out here. I scuff, huffing an incredulous laugh. The commotion is that the creature that's been slaying my colleagues has decided to show its ugly face. And I'm going to kill it. Is that right? Well, suppose we better help then, yeah? I nudge Alcar with my shoulder as I pass, advancing onwards. Omen eagerly follows into step at my side, his tail wrapping around my wrist. I suppose you might come in handy. Alcar snorts, skipping over a fallen branch to catch up to me.
Hey, I'm a good fighter. Scrappy, I've been told.
I don't doubt that for a second. Let's go.
And him? He's fucking mental.
It's true. Yeah, he is a demon. He points a thumb at Omen, who simply smiles at his eyes shining.
Me?
You have demon powers. We can use that. Let's go. I laugh at them, and Alcar ruffles Omen's hair affectionately. Scrappy suits you, Alcar.
Hey, no going and getting yourself killed. Not on our watch. You hear?
Don't tell me what to do. Let's go. There's that look again, the one that sends my heart to its knees. Ooh, smooth. The one that tells me he cares for me deeply, just as I've come to care for him, for them. I'll try. Try? Then a sorrowful groan echoes from somewhere in the forest behind us. Yeah, we should probably go. No time for flirting. That's for afterwards. It doesn't take us long to find the creature's obvious path of destruction. Blood and ichor cover the ground. Its own, I assume. There's a path of trees that have been felled, jagged claw marks covering the splintered bark. I close my eyes, but Alcar snaps me from my attempted concentration when he steps in front of me, dragging Omen by his arm. He shifts nervously where he stands, bandaged hands balled into his fist, and he's almost unable to meet my gaze. Omen lays his hand upon his shoulder, rubbing soothing circles, their tails curling together, squeezing tight. It makes my heart lurch. Now's not the time to be cute! There is a monster that's killing everyone. We need to fight it.
If this gets nasty, you're aware I might change, right? We both might.
Ayo?
Please don't be afraid of us.
Nah, listen. I'm a proud monster fucker. That's only gonna make me horny. I quickly step closer, taking her hands in mine. I fix them both with a gaze so earnest they can't possibly think that I'm lying. I will never think any less of you, either of you, understand? Alcar's scarred mouth twists to his side, and Omen beams brightly. You're soft.
Soft.
Oh, I didn't mean to read that. Okay. Then we see the creature lumbering into the clearing, too close to the town for comfort, too alert and entirely focused on me. Only me. Alcar grabs my arm, pressing his lips to my ear, and jerks his head in Omen's direction.
Hot Stuff and I will keep it occupied. Strike when it has its back turned.
Alcar, I know what... Just let us help you, got it? Got it.
Be safe, Zehewa.
It straightens up taller than I remember, but still no taller than me. Let's send this thing back to where it came from. I propel myself forward, unafraid, kicking up dirt, and Alcar and Omen quickly dart to flank the creature. I throw back my fist, landing the first hit with a satisfying smack. The impact reverberates through my knuckles, and I reach out for my weapon as the creature gathers itself. The three of us fall into an easy routine, as if this is something we've been doing together forever. Alcar keeps it distracted, too quick for it to even fathom where he stands. Omen rains fire and fury upon its form, and I lay into it with every ounce of unbinding power that surges through my body. We violently clash, nothing but a flurry of frenzied movements and strikes. I swing hard at the beast, erring to stick to my typical strategy of attack, not letting the furious tempo of this battle overtake my senses. However, there is a method to its madness, and its poise and posture remain, something more than brute strength keeping it steady. When finally one of my attacks connects, the creature lets out a horrific scream, something that could bloody my ears, and it near sends me to my knees. I dial back to catch myself, vision blurring. Alcar is fast, roguish in his movements, but even he is thrown to the ground beside me. He skids to a stop as he hits the trunk of a tree already splintered by the creature's hand, and Omen rushes to his side, helping him up from the dirt. It's strong. Stronger than we anticipated, but more than that, despite its haggard appearance, it fights like I do. Calculated, precise, calm in a way no creature could ever be or even has been. It fights like a hunter. Alcar lets out a primal growl, his teeth bared, and Omen's skin is suddenly aglow, a swirl of scarlet and orange like fire. If I'm not mistaken, the whites of his eyes are swallowed up by the bright scarlet, his teeth a little sharper. I bring my hand to my face as they circled one another, seeing crimson leaking between my fingers, staining my skin. Omen calls me as Alcar dodges his attempted attacks with relative ease, giving it a good as it gets but still struggling. I find myself frozen, my breathing heavy, but everything has been laid out before me, and I curse my stupidity for not seeing it sooner. As if the creature had read my thoughts, as if it knows that I figured it out, it gets something of a smile with that grotesque maul. It pushes Alcar aside once again with a startling display of strength, like a mere afterthought, and heads for me, transfixed. Its eyes are constant on my form, long, heavy strides gaining quick momentum in my direction. I cannot move, I cannot think, it's all a haze now. The only coherent thought I have is, if I'm going to die here, all I can hope is that they both make it out. It draws back its gnarled arm, and I brace for impact. It's too soon for me to steel myself against the assault, and I feel my body shocked with pain. Oh shit. Oh shit! I hear a groan and see Alcar twisting contorted. He cries out, the noise filtering into something primal, something not human. You barely look different. I mean, I was expecting more furry-esque. I mean, your ear is different, you know, the one human ear that should not belong. But still, ayo, I'd smash. Every inch of his newly transformed body screamed power, and he steps forward with purpose, his claws and fangs bared. The transformation distracts it, and the creature turns to face Alcar with another sorrowful groan. Then I see Omen. Oh! He looks so handsome! Oh, he looks so powerful, all with his hair down like that. I'm about to bust. Then I see Omen. No, I see the Prince of Hells. I watch in awe as he steps forward, the ground beneath him set alight, the sky darkening above us. Thunder rumbles into the distance, and Omen's transformation distracts it. The creature doesn't know where to look, and neither do I. At that moment, there's clarity in me, my body finally recalling every ounce of training I've had throughout my life, the instinct to survive saturating every nerve. I reach for my weapon despite the numbness in my fingers. I feel stronger, movements more certain, and as I see Alcar take a hit to the chest, I strike with everything I have. I drag my weapon into the back of its neck with a guttural scream. It swats at me blindly like a wild animal, trying to shake me off. It stumbles feverishly in random directions, but considerably more sluggish than before. Again, it attempts to remove the thing that will help it meet its maker, But I relent. I hold on, plunging it deeper until I can hear the sickening crack of bone. The creature's voice is smaller now, shaking and shaking. As the life form of it's finally torn asunder, it halts in its movement until it falls to its knees and pounds the dusty earth. I wait and I wait until I'm certain it is no longer. Finally, there's resounding silence and I catch my breath. Try to, anyway. I look for Alcar and Omen in the aftermath, and I watch as the wolf forces himself to his feet, his human form washing over him like his half transformation was merely a glamour. Okay, that was half, so there is going to be a full transformation, hopefully. Omen's glimmer falls back into place too, a simple shimmer, something so subtle it could have been missed if I wasn't transfixed. It's dead. Oh, we killed it! Shit! Sorry, I was just thinking about how gay I am for my boyfriends. I didn't notice that we killed it. Oh. Yippee! Alcor stumbles forward, a little unsteady as Omen holds him tightly, but the shit-eating grin that crosses his lips tells me he's just fine.
Well, that was easy.
That's not how you do it. This is how you do it.
That was easy.
Exactly. Mine and Omen's eyes widen, and my breath is still wrapped in my chest. Alcar has the gall to laugh at us.
I'm kidding. Obviously. Bastard put up a tough fight.
You could say that.
You were amazing.
So were you, baby boy. Kiss them! Kiss them! I feel a little lightheaded, my legs shaky, but Alcar catches me against his chest with a soft oof.
Whoa there. Steady now. Are you okay?
Maybe we should find Ezra? I shake my head, clutching his shirt, just needing to feel them close, feel their warmth. I tip my chin, seeking Alcar's lips, find them with my own when he leans in. It's almost greedy, a little desperate, steeped in relief. He hums against my lips, fingers digging harder as he holds me close, as if I might vanish. I break up hard with a gasping breath and I smile, trying to focus. Then Omen carefully takes my face in his hands, and Alcar watches with a sly smile as we kiss. It's gentle, something sacred, and I pull away with a clouded mind. We did it. It's dead. It's over.
Damn right we did. You did.
Is it just me, or is the background starting to get, like, fuzzy? Oh god, am I fucking dying? We did it. Hey. Yui! Then, everything goes black. Oh shit. Did I die?
Hunter? Hunter, snap out of it.
I cooked myself out of my little daze, finding kind blue eyes staring at me. Unamused kind blue eyes.
Are you quite finished daydreaming?
Huh? Wait. But you're supposed to be dead. You're James. You're supposed to be dead. And you were supposed to be a homophobe. Just kidding. No, you're just really gay. But is this a flashback? This is a flashback, isn't it? Oh shit, I'm dead, aren't I? I smile at him because as much as Harry tries to be annoyed with me, he's adorable when he's angry. I am Major Addington. Very sorry, sir. There's that little mouth twitch, an attempt to stifle a smile. I know him too well. And as humble as I try to be, Harold Addington III cannot resist me. Oh, this is a... Oh, I'm looking into James's memories. Oh, I see. That makes a lot more sense. Also, he's blushing.
Stop that.
Stop what? I'm not doing anything. He sighs, loud, pitiful.
Yes, you are. You're looking at me like that. How many times do I have to remind you that I'm your superior, Hunter Lane?
I feign contemplation, just twisting the knife a little more, making him squirm. Oh, maybe a few more times might do the trick. We both laugh when he swats my arm, but Harry is quick to straighten himself up, ever the professional.
I have an assignment, something out of town. It might take us a few days if we're lucky.
He looks at the papers that have been deposited on his desk, a pretty sizable pile for a simple missive by the look of it. A little getaway, just the two of us? Harry rolls his eyes, scoffing.
If you consider hunting a rogue clan of witches romantic.
Then he looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him.
You do, don't you?
I shrug, stepping forward to push the papers from beneath his fingertips. I rest my hand upon his waist, crowding close until he has no choice but to sit upon the surface of his desk. Any time spent alone with you is time that I cherish, my love. Ooh, smooth. The flush that sleeps across his cheeks is charming, as always, and when I lean in to brush his lips with my own, gone is the stiff formality of Enforcer General Addington, and in his place is the man that I love. Hey! Gay, gay, homosexual, gay! These bitches gay! Good for them! Good for fucking them! My partner in all things. My soulmate. We're both in need of some time away from here, don't you think? even if it does involve us being knee-deep in angry witches.
Sweet talk me some more, please. I don't know how I ever resisted you.
I raised an accusatory brow. You didn't. He huffs quietly, but my statement is irrefutable. I can't fucking read!
So smug.
Unconsciously, we both cast the door a glance. It's closed, and I lean in to lose myself in his kiss once again. You see that nothing lasts forever, but all that felt like to me was a lie told by people who never truly found love like I did. I knew that Harry was special when I first met him. We found a connection immediately, only to have it torn asunder when he failed the initiation. But, even with an ocean between us, both of us sent on such different paths, we still found our way back to one another. 5 years, 10 years, 15. A partnership forged out of love, trust, and strength. We were unstoppable. I'd do anything for Harry, but in the end, that's why it all began to go wrong. Oh? You shouldn't leave. Not right now. Your people need you. I need you.
I have little choice. Such meetings cannot be postponed. Do not pull the I need you card. Things are under control now, James. Besides, it's just a few days. I shall be back before you know it.
Oh, is this where he dies? His smile is as bright as it's always been, but doesn't reach his eyes. They are cold and tired. And anyway, I can't help but blame myself for Harry's recent boldness. I've always encouraged him to think outside the box, to stop being so rigid when it comes to following the rules. And now... Please, Harry, this has to stop. He averts his gaze, twisting his wedding band nervously. I know you think you're doing the right thing, but it's not worth it. None of this is worth it. I step closer, taking both of his hands in my own, and tugging at him to look at me. He refuses, still staring longingly out of the window. I love you too much to let this destroy you. Think of everything you've achieved. Would you throw that all away just to make some numbers look good? Oh?
It's not about numbers, and you know it. It is about saving people's lives. About stopping those things from overwhelming us until we're nothing but...
He pauses, closes his eyes, and then he carefully pries his hand from mine.
It's about doing what I swore to do. Fulfilling my duty as protector of this country. Protecting you.
I can protect myself. Harry flinches at my words, exhaling sharply.
We will discuss this further upon my return, but I must go. The carriage will be waiting for me.
Do not share this, Harry. You're further away from perfecting it than you think, and you know it. At that, he smiles, shaking his head. He steps close to cup his hand to my jaw.
You've always underestimated me, my love.
He kisses me, and something about the way he does so makes me believe it's for the last time. Because it is, because you're gonna die. After Harry's departure, I sat at our kitchen table and wrote him a letter before my nightly patrol. I knew it wouldn't make it to him before his meeting. In fact, I wasn't even going to send it. I just had a feeling. My dearest Harry, as much as I love to muse about how I long for you to return to lay with me in our bed, I'm afraid this letter comes with a less light-hearted message. I'm worried these experiments are troubling me, and I've been unable to sleep soundly since you showed me last week. So he is behind experiments! I knew it! I knew that he was behind, like, the experiments. Like, I knew there's experiments, and I knew that he was behind them. I knew it. God, I am so smart. I am so fucking smart. Y'all owe me an apology for doubting me. I fear something terrible will happen that we won't be able to hide, that you won't be able to recover from. Is this really what they cursed all of us with all these years ago? I always knew we were different, that something within us made us stronger, but... Children, Harry. We were children. Think about that before you continue with this. Think about their intentions and why no one has attempted this before. I'll be leaving for a hunt this evening, missing you every step of the way, my power dulled without you standing strong by my side. All I ask you is that you slow down. Perfect things before you dare to implement your plan. I'm not sure how much longer I can sit back and watch, just waiting for it to all go wrong. I love you, and I just want my husband back. We can make it through anything as long as we have each other. Always yours, James. The graveyard is peaceful, the air is cool, and the sky clear. The crunch of gravel under my boots is strangely comforting, and I feel a sense of calm washing over me as I stop in front of a newly placed headstone. I crouch down, tracing the carved letters with my fingertips. James Addington Lane, brave hunter, loving husband, cherished friend. I haven't seen this yet. I stand my vision blurring. There's a searing yet familiar pain in my temple as I turn and see a tall figure before me, silhouetted by bright moonlight. They would put the hunter part first, wouldn't they? James steps closer, standing by my side and sparring his grave a glance. The second you become a hunter, it trumps everything else. You're not even really considered a human first anymore. Am I dead? I look at James, studying his features, registering that he's here, flesh and bone, and alive? Or, am I dead? He shakes his head. Okay, I'm not dead. Not yet, anyways. No, but you're somewhere in between, just like me. Okay, so I'm like in limbo. Just like you? I look down and press my hand over my ribs, and it comes away crimson. My armor is jagged and torn, my clothes saturated with blood. When I look back at James, his brow is furrowed, and I see a shadow emerging from the blackened tree line behind him. A familiar sight, lumbering, misshapen, not human. It's behind you! My words are monotone, though I intended for them to be a warning. My throat feels tight, and I'm once again struck where I stand. He shakes his head, ignoring the looming threat, his dark eyes focused on me and me alone. It's not real. You killed him, after all. Him? You simply did what I couldn't, what I should have done. I froze. I was too afraid to hurt someone I knew. As a hunter, you know you cannot hesitate, cannot second guess. If you do, people die. Oh? Who is it then? He's right. They teach us to be ruthless in our decisions, and if it can kill you, you can kill first. It thrilled me. I thought that was how I got you. He shakes his head. I saw. He pauses, mouth agape as if he wants to say it, but something stops him. You saved him, Yui, though your job isn't done just yet. I stared at him blankly, trying to comprehend where I am, why he's here, just everything. What did they do to us? He simply smiles. It's somber, almost pained. It's easier if I show you. I stare at the familiar buildings that are now before me, a bitter taste blooming upon my tongue. I grew up here, learned how to kill here, how to survive. They promised us the world, said we'd be heroes. As a naive child, I might have believed them, and yet, in reality, we're nothing but pawns. Feels different now, doesn't it? I was so excited to be chosen. Most of us are. To make it feel like passing the initiation is some kind of coveted honor. Not an honor, then what? James looks down at his hands, turning his palms skyward. I see scars, not unlike the ones that cover my own skin, and he looks back up. A curse. Suddenly the sky turns an inky black. The moon is full, hanging low, and the stars are sparse but bright. With a heavy sigh, James turns to me. Are you ready? Ready for what? To finally find out how hunters are really made. I think back to the comment Finn made the other day, smiling to myself. I heard that we grow on trees. James laughs. If only it were that simple, Yui. What do you remember of your initiation? I stare at him blankly, my memories non-existent, past waking up in my bed the next day. Feeling stronger, feeling different, feeling better. He tilts his head at me, smiling. As I suspected, they're very good at making you forget what they need you to, aren't they? You would have been taken into the courtyard at night, right here where we stand. They then would have asked you to take your oath to pledge yourself to the cause. A witch would have offered you a vial something, which they then expect you to ingest. Oh? I looked down at my hand, something cold appearing in my palm, a vial, just as James said. The liquid inside is black, vicious, and glowing. Is that demon blood? I remember, I think. They said those that failed to experience a great discomfort, vomiting, convulsions, though it's still a mystery what makes us different from them. I uncorked the vial, bringing the mixture to my nose. It smells bitter, like copper. I close my eyes, my heart pounding. Then the words roll off my tongue as if possessed. I swear that no night will be traversed in fear, that morning will be a promise and not a hope. I swear I shall lay down my life in the cause of my duty, to protect the vulnerable from the creatures of this realm and any beyond it. Until my final breath, I pledge myself to you, body, mind, and soul. Then I remember the way it tasted, the way it made me retch and fall to my knees. I dug my fingers into the dirt until they bled, and my skin cracked and my nails split. Oh! Is that vampire blood? It burned my throat, and my body fought hard to reject it, but I lost. When I opened my eyes, the vial is gone. Not dead, nor not of the living. Bind them and reveal to them the strength of the ascension. We summon you to reach your wizened hands to them. Let them be the vessel that will carry us onward. It is written that this power is our right to wield, given to their body. That's what separates man from the vulnerability of the flesh. Be that which may push the boundaries of our mortal coil. The blood of the vampire, creature of the night, consumer of life, impart your keen awareness and resilience, but not be shun of the light or endless of life. Oh, so it is vampire blood! That's why they were taking away Fiero's blood. To get more hunters. I knew the government was fucking shady. The blood of the Fae, tricksters incarnate, denizens between realms, impart your cunning and agile grace, but leave your weakness to the elements. The blood of the demon, purveyors of evil, guardians of the realms, impart your strength but not your anger. Blood of the lichen, predators under the moon, beasts of the instinct, impart your primal power but not the madness of the... Oh, so it's more than just vampire blood. It's like lichen and demon and witch? Blood. Why is it always supposed to be fucking blood? I have no idea. My hands shake. My breathing quickening, and James watches me with a concerned gaze as the realization watches over me. I'm just like them. We all are. The things that we were trained to kill are a part of us. They made us monsters. What the twist? He nods and I gather it's been a burden. Knowledge that he's carried for far too long. Fight fire with fire, as they say. A simple human wouldn't stand a chance against the beast we face. The early hunters were true warriors who fought and died too quickly for us to stand a chance. An order was formed. People who have known of the creature's existence before the day of the revolution, people who befriended them, worshipped them even. They formed the agency, the first enforcers. They studied the way vampires can infect us, the way lichens can curse us. It's simple biology, a touch of magic, and they have a carefully curated weapon on their hands. I do not know how long it took for them to perfect it, and I dread to think how many lives were lost. And it was truly only a matter of time until someone took it too far. I just never thought it would happen in the place I called home. I look at him and he waits expectantly, watching me with a furrowed brow. Someone in Lunaris. Slowly all the pieces begin to fall in piece. Fiero, Alucard, Azazel. Creatures captured needlessly, hunters missing and dying. Oh god. I need to go back. I need to find who and stop them to protect. I ball my hands into fists, my heart a hammer in my chest, my head spinning. Something is wrong. James reaches out with wide eyes, but his hand passes through me. Breathe, Yui. My vision blurs and I feel everything around me falling away into darkness. Something is calling out to me, a force pulling and tugging, violent in its desire to bring me back. James. He looks defeated, but he stands a little taller, though he still smiles and my heart aches for him. Our fallen hero killed simply for being kind. You have so much left to do. It's not your time. Not yet. Of all the wrong he's done, he did so well in choosing you, Hunter Nyanpasu. You made me proud, made all of them proud. It would have been such an honor to fight by your side. James stands stoic and stalwart. I'm not certain where I am, and yet he remains with poise, somewhere between and still as strong as when he was living. Something tells me he's waiting. For what? I'm not entirely sure, but I hope that whatever it is, he finds it. His peace, maybe. Tell Harry that I love him. Then with a smile, he slowly fades away. There's a low murmuring of voices around me, soft and familiar, 2 of them. There's a solid, reassuring weight pressed against my back, too. I don't have as much time to relish in the latter since a finger immediately taps on my nose. It's my boyfriend! Open, bleary eyes look into crimson ones. Alucard's blurry face hovers above me, with a backdrop of equally blurry lights. But I have the impression he's grinning, and the relief I feel from him is almost itself a kind of presence.
See? Told you our hunter's as fit as a fiddle.
I do too. The presence on my back shifts, not just physically, but almost something was extinguished. I know immediately it's Omen. It's my other boyfriend! I turn my head to look at him, wincing at the way my muscles creak and groan. And Omen kisses me right on the mouth, his breath hot and smelling like... How many jars of candy do I owe Ezra now? Ah, god damn it, Omen! I almost died and you were eating candy? The mattress dips under me as Alucard clambers on, and a moment later I feel myself being squished between them. In addition to the blankets on top of me, it's cozy. Ah, yeah, getting squished by man titties. That's the way I want to go out. Not defeating a monster, but being squished by man titties. You love to see it. 3, but I'll rob the grocer later. Alucard! What? Omen's fingers crawl on my neck, stroking gently.
We were worried.
A memory of the fight, the monster and everything since, I suppose, even if it's just inside my head, makes me shudder. Well, I'm alive.
You're welcome.
Alucard says it with a cocky half-grin, but his fingers lace around mine under the blanket, and he's close enough that I can see the bridleness of his bravado. Omen's hand is at my cheek again, and I lean into the warmth. We are in Alucard's cave. The realization comes like a piece of driftwood slowly surfacing, and I'm alive. and probably with my limbs attached. A slight movement of my body aches tell me as much. The soreness isn't from injury, the place where the creature's claw had caught me. I genuinely feel for the skin with the hand Alucard isn't holding, and touch my only smooth skin. Omen buries his face into my neck, sending a shiver of delight down my spine. His breath is hot.
Ezra took care of you. Still, it's been a very long 2 days.
2 days? Jesus! 2 days? There's a soft thump as Alucard's tail lands resonantly across my legs. He glowers warningly, taking his hand back to display it across my chest.
Yeah, and no one's looking for you, so don't worry.
I doubt that. Well... Alucard pushes himself to his elbow, wolf ears flattened, crimson eyes narrowed, and lowers his voice. No one we cared to answer for anyway. Omen's hand appears into view suddenly, and I watch as he pinches Alucard's cheek. Hey, ow! What we mean is, we got you concealed? Covered. Yes, that, covered. It's hard to hold back the snort bubbling in my chest. I turn trying to get a good look at Omen's face, only to find my nose and mouth suddenly pressed to tantalizing bare heated skin. On my other side, Alucard snickers. I swear, I can feel Omen blush as he adjusts with a mutter. A moment later, he's staring into my eyes, his own crinkled in a grin that stretches his face. Now it's Alucard who presses close, slinging an arm around me and snuggling tight. Sodas Estelzoid. His words are a little more than a breath on the shell of my ear. The language I don't know, but it sounds like gratitude, like a prayer, and I feel his relief like a physical force. It pries the tension from my limbs. Omen humps and brushes his lips over mine, hoping to cause. I close my eyes on the precipice of rest. And then I remember it. Alucard makes a garbled complaint as I sit up, but he doesn't try to pin me. Omen follows the motion, and when I look up at him, worry creases his brow. He doesn't ask, raises his bottom lip with his teeth instead, and I suddenly have a feeling he understands, or at least suspects. Yui, what's wrong? I shake my head in the hope that it can dislodge the rest of the fog in my skull. It doesn't quite work, but it's no dream that fades as soon as I try to remember. James, the Lieutenant General. The truth! A hand closes over mine. I jolt and look down at my lap to see Alucard's scarred fingers trying to pry my own from where they grip the blanket so hard I can feel them cramp. With conscious effort, I work them loose. Thanks. A weight settles upon my shoulder as Omen leans in.
Do you want to talk about it?
He sounds hesitant, but I know he's sincere. Alucard, my other side, draws his knees to his chest, and it's a different kind of look he fixes me with. Intensity, concern, and a strange kind of sympathy. My gut twists sinkingly. But they deserve the truth. Gunther, they said you injured Alucard. Alucard's ears perk, but he grimaces sharply. For a moment, I don't know if I should continue. I don't want to hear them, but I don't want to hear the words from my own mouth. I don't want James to be right, nor the things he implied, and the things he told me about outright, too. I can see Harry's face in my mind and examine the way he twists the ring on his finger and his downcast eyes. But most of all, imprinted on me is the gaunt, twisted shape of the creature we had faced. No, they deserve to know. I think I might have an idea what happened to Azazel. Might. Alucard is looking at the floor, through it, a tight grimace mirroring his face. Omen's finger is linked with mine. I swallow hard but allow myself to be comforted. After a moment, Alucard looks back at me. I don't know how to place the expression he's wearing. Then he reaches out and pokes my cheek. What?
You don't think she's going to turn out like that, is she, Omen?
What? No!
The shining personality will redeem all.
Ooh, smooth. I'm trying to be serious here. Very grim, in fact. You're both ruining the mood. Alucard reclines back on the bed and raises both eyebrows.
Go ahead. I'll just be over here being distractingly handsome.
Okay, Alucard. James told me. Owen makes a noise of understanding. He rocks back, folds his leg, and inclines his head when I glance at him.
Ezra healed you easily. The wound wasn't terrible, but he couldn't wake you because he said that something was holding you back.
He mentioned you had voices talking in your head. Fuck knows what that meant. But if it's some kind of spiritual council you've got living in there.
Yes, that would be James. Alucard's eyes narrowed, the curl of his lips unfriendly. Hunter Lane? Yes, him. What did he want? I rubbed my forehead. My entire head is beginning to ache. How much should I tell them? Pang of guilt, the very thought incurs in its own sort of agony. But I'm still a hunter. There's still discretion to consider. So much of everything unraveling all of a sudden. I can almost smell it, sense it, like the children in the fairy tale following the breadcrumbs back to the source, back to the house in the grisly teeth. I look at my hand, at the hand Omen is holding. His thumb brushes a slow, soothing rhythm along its side, and it hits me suddenly, powerfully, how damn grateful I am that I haven't woken alone. Taking a deep breath, I pry the words out of the jumble, out of the bad dreams. He told me about hunters, and why we couldn't. Even thinking about it feels almost too much. I hardly know which part of it is too much in particular. Was it the ritual? The one that served to bind as well as bend us, when we were too young and powerless to question what it meant? Or was it the lying, the hiding, the things we become, the things, the literal things our spirits are willing to turn us into for the sake of... To be a hunter, we must be eligible. My own voice sounds far away. They give us a vial of some secret concoction. They tell us to drink. Nothing deadly, but if we are not fit for the skill, we can't keep it down. I never did ask what was in that concoction. I take a deep breath and it leaves my lungs as a sigh. My limbs are heavy. My eyelids, my heart, everything. Tired. Maybe because I already guessed and already didn't like the answer, but I'm sure both you know that hunters aren't wholly human. There's a pause. When the mattress shifts and dips as Alcar sits up, I feel his arm, his tail as he curls both around me. He leans in and rests his forehead to my temple as Omen's hand tightens around mine. You're Yui, that's enough for me. Enough for us, more than that. There's little room for argument there, even less room between us for the sick, churning feeling that's haunted me since I remembered. I breathe and exhale. The world feels a little sturdier. We remain in the embrace for what seems like a comforting eternity. Then Alcar's lips press to my cheek. He says nothing, but as I turn to kiss him back, moves it further to rest instead on the hollow of my neck, right above my pulse. And chuckles when he likely feels it jump. You're not shy, are you?
When have I ever been shy?
Yeah, you being shy is like Omen hating candy. At the exact same moment, I feel something slender and leathery curl around my thigh. I turn to him just in time to see Omen's lips twist into a wicked smirk. His eyes are still kind, but his tail is curled around my leg, and he leans an arm on my shoulder, leans in, his breath hot as our lips brush.
You've earned this much for a job well done. You survived.
Are we about to have a fucking threesome? I think I'm about to get mad laid right now. I learned a sort of truth about my employers that I still haven't told you about yet in full, you know.
Do you have to? The enforcers are to blame for their own problems. So what's new?
I give him a look, but Alcar said the words with nonchalance, and as he leans back, we can see each other. His expression tells me he isn't lying or exaggerating for that matter. Oh! I'm just gonna. Okay, listen. Listen. This is a judgment-free zone. And we already know which option I'm gonna pick right now. So I want no judgment whatsoever. Okay? Okay, cool. I'm suddenly more aware of all the way our bodies touch and their tangled heap of the way their eyes bore into mine. I'm just gonna get my VTubing screen ready in case it turns very NSFW-ish. Eyes which could have quite possibly been torn away from me during our previous entanglement with the creature. I mean, is now really a good time to have sex? I mean, come on. I literally just woke up from like a 2-day coma. No time like the present, I guess. Two creatures not so different from me. In this moment of silence that hangs thick between all of us, something ignites. It's easy to realize what it is. It's desire.
I would like... very much.
After his initial hesitation, Omen smiles, his eyes growing dark. Literally, that flash of black and gold and red would have scared me when we first met. Now all it does is thrill me. Alcar too, if the way his lips curl at the corner is any indication.
Spit it out, hot stuff. Use your words.
But Omen doesn't use words. Instead, he uses his lips. A kiss that crashes a little messy, fervorous. A quiet growl rumbles in his Alcar's chest, and I move to pay him more attention. His... Sorry, I fumbled because I got a little flustered. Okay. A quiet growl rumbles in Alcar's chest, and I move to pay him some attention. He's all tongue and teeth, quintessentially Alcar in a way that makes my chest ache. When we break apart, I press a palm to his chest and push, laughing as he hits the mattress with a devilish grin. Omen is quick to move to crowd close, and then I'm caught, their prey. I'm just gonna, just in case, let me check the picture. Okay, picture's safe. The picture's safe. Okay, it's a safe picture. We're good. We're fine. I just have to double check. They watch me, waiting. Cheeks and chest flush a delicious pink. It's in this moment that I know I'm supposed to be here with them, exactly like this. Tomorrow will come too quickly, and I'll be damned if I waste this night. Chance to lose myself in the two men that I love you. Alcar's breath catches in his throat, and there is a look of shock as he holds for a second, then elation. Omen too, a smile so wide and earnest it makes his pretty brown eyes crinkle. Alcar grants us both a flash of his stubby fangs.
I love you too. Both of you.
Polyamory is magic, let's go, boys! Neither Alcar nor I need to know his language to understand what those words mean. I can feel their joint affection, but hearing their admission captures me. It makes my heart sing. We meet with a kiss, both of them smiling against my lips. There's something to be found in the darkness which just joined. It's raw, honest, and loving, the way we move, matching each beat, the certainty in their embrace, how deep each breathless kiss that we share. Sorry, I'm like way so flustered! I see Omen's tail swaying elegantly behind him as he concentrates on the task at hand, a trail of reverent kisses pressed on my throat, then Alcar's. It's as though with each electric touch we impress on each other was a space waiting to be met and fulfilled. The thread of release barrels closer, full speed under the unrelenting press of their bodies. Just the three of us together, chasing one another over the edge. Is it over? Okay, there we go, we're done. Okay. Alright, horny time's over. It's back to innocent time. We fucked. It happened, but it's done. We did it. It's over. You don't have to worry anymore. I wait to the feeling of fingers gently brushing my face. For a moment, the world is blurry. A brown mass with red eyes takes up most of my vision, and then fuzzy orbs of light beyond, and then my eyes focus. I squint up at Alcar, who yanks his hand back like he's got caught in a cookie jar.
You're awake.
You can keep doing that, it's nice. Alcar's eyes widen almost comically, but his face quickly contorts into a scowl when the helpless laugh tumbles out of my mouth. He withdraws, mumbling something under his breath, but I'm fast enough to catch his hand to keep him there. Where are you going, little wolf?
Little?
The indication is quick to fade, however. In its place, Alcar's lips twist into a wonderfully naughty smirk.
That wasn't what you said last night.
Oh! Sir, this is a Wendy's. I know what I said last night. False. I don't exactly remember what I said last night, but I remember enough. It's hard to deny the pleasant ache in my bones, too, and I know Alcar is at least half responsible for that. I press my lips to his scarred knuckles, roughened from one too many thrown punches, I'm sure, and kiss them gently, and then pull him down for a proper kiss. He follows me willingly, tasting like coffee even though his chest is still bare, his skin so warm. Someone woke up without me and had coffee by himself. Omen's idea said you should be allowed to sleep in. And honestly, yeah, he's right. You slept soundly after, but... Alcar draws back and peers at me, his wolf ears twitching. I rub at the crease on his brow until it smooths out, and Alcar sighs, dropping his head on my shoulder. Thank you, I'm feeling a lot better now. Where's Omen? Omen went to fetch real food for you and change of clothes.
I stayed with you because I didn't want you to wake up alone.
Aww, he cares. And where's the coffee? Brewed it outside, didn't want to wake you up. There better be some left for me. Nah, but since you're up now, I'll make you a fresh pot. He squints at me. Do you even drink coffee? I live on it. It sustains me. Alcar snorts, though he squeezes my hand. Then he brings it to his lips and kisses my knuckles as I did for him. His expression has turned stormy all of a sudden, brooding almost. I raise my head concerned. I wish... You wish? Nah, forget it. Didn't know where I was going with that. Okay, you said you want coffee? Alcar turns my hand and kisses my palm, then pulls me up. I slowly roll my shoulders, working out the soreness of my muscles. There isn't much, for which I'm thankful, though maybe not surprising considering the, workout the boys gave me yesterday night. Oh, so we had a workout, that's what happened. No, we didn't fuck. We just had a really big exercise session, that's what happened. No sex, I'm still a virgin. Unfortunately. Alcar stands back as well and stares at me with open admiration. Head cocked, I notice he's already got a shirt on and pelt. Where's my clothes? Omen's getting them.
I sure hope you're in no hurry to put them back on when he gets here.
Horny! He wraps his tail around my leg, his arm around my waist, and kisses me hungrily. Slowly, reluctantly, I untangle myself from Alcar. Though I keep my hand on his face, he watches me with narrowed, searching red eyes when his wolf ears flatten into his hair.
I haven't forgotten what you told us last night. And what we said, we meant. You're enough. You're good exactly as you are. Whatever they made you drink, and whatever they've made you do.
My mouth is suddenly dry. I don't know what hits me harder, the raw, almost desperate conviction in Alcar's voice, or what these words mean to me. Both, really. Luckily, there's the soft voice of the trapdoor opening. Alcar's ears perk. I can't hear whatever it is to be heard, but we both know exactly who is coming down those stairs.
You're awake.
Yeah! And demanding beverages from me. A hot drink in general sounds good, honestly. Especially if it's chocolate. Alcar and I exchange a look. Omen stifles a laugh behind his hand as he approaches us. In a moment, his arms are around mine and Alcar's shoulders, and he's hugging us with something approaching unnatural strength. From the soft oof I hear from Alcar, I know he's having the same impression despite his own semi-supernatural perks. Still, Omen is warm, is here, and something in my chest contracts. I hug back just as fiercely, burying my face in his shoulders, breathing in the smell of applewood smoke and herbs? You been to Ezra? I glance down at the wrap package in Omen's hand. It looks large enough to possibly contain clothes and hopefully some life advice, because I sure can use some right now. If I'm lucky, perhaps even a doctor's bill, though I'm sure Ezra would try to ward off any monetary payment. People like him are like that.
He said he might come over soon, but when I came to visit, he was occupied with...
He calls an Alcar, barks left as he gently untangles from us.
Oh, Finn's there, You know he'll be looking to put Ezra out of service after all that time apart.
What do you mean by that?
Alcar.
I shoot him a look as the blush on Omen's face intensifies and he squeaks, but Alcar isn't even watching anymore. He's padding over to the stone stove in a corner and putting on a kettle. This leaves me to grip Omen's chin until his face our eyes meet and I kiss him, relishing in the taste of his soft lips. And the tongue. Nice. I'm glad you're awake. Me too. Even more glad that your bonus last night isn't just a dream. Ooh!
Shall I be as bold as last night?
Please do. His hands are already trailing lower. I shiver as his fingers skim over the bare skin at my waist, then up towards my chest. Alcar already promised me a drink. He pauses in his love ventures and kisses me, then winks.
That's a good idea. Perhaps after.
Yes, perhaps after. I have a report to make, and August is going to loathe being kept waiting, but that's alright. One more distracting promise to keep me from fully remembering that debacle from last night, the Harry-related one. I just wish you two would be receptive to my hot chocolate suggestion as you are to coffee. No! And you tell him why, Yui, bored of reminding him. Because you're allergic, Omen, your tongue is very big, and if it swells, it might. Don't make that face. What if it blocks off your entire throat?
I appreciate your concerns about my mortal disguise, but I don't need to breathe.
He leans his forehead to mine, exhales, and suddenly once again I feel it. I feel it when his glamour drops just so, just enough for my senses to pick up on the fiery, simmering, enormous presence behind his pretty face. I take a sharp, shaky breath. Alcar presses a mug of steaming coffee into my hands, and one into Omen's. The strong aroma serves to wake me up from the almost slit. I really don't want to put on the clothes you brought me, Omen. Aw, thank you. See, we appreciate it. I wink at them, but the coffee's broken me out of my rest of my trance. As much as I want to drag them both back to bed and tumble for perhaps as long as it takes August and Piper to come to arrest me, well... I take a careful sip, then give it back to Alcar long enough to pick up the package Omen had thrown aside on the floor. Inside is indeed a fresh change of clothes. They don't quite fit, though not to the point of discomfort. Not mine, then. Good. I'm glad nobody decided to break into my inn room, even if it's only to fetch clothes. It takes a few minutes to get everything back in working order, my mind included. Coffee, which Alcar had served to my specifications despite having clearly taken a few sips out of the same mug himself, helps the progress immensely. By the time I feel properly sorted out, both the boys are sitting on the bed, talking quietly. They look up when I approach, then wordlessly scoot aside so I can flop down between them. Alcar snickers. Hunter's sandwich. A hunter, a half-lycan, and a demon walk into a bar. Exactly! We could literally make that joke all the time if we, go into the tavern. A bar.
The wooden counter we sit at to drink. Not the kind Piper slammed her head on last month when she didn't duck in time.
Ha! Classic Piper. Oh! Granted, I don't always get the rest of the joke either.
Me neither. I figured that you're supposed to make up the punchline, the finisher yourself. But who's got time for that when we're already a big fucking cosmic joke?
I mean, you've got a point, yeah. Especially the whole fucked up thing with Azazel. Take it you weren't exaggerating. You seemed pretty lucid last night. No, I wasn't exaggerating. Taking a deep breath, I drove one knee to my chest and wrapped my arm around it. On either side of me, Omen and Alcar leaned closer, protective. Who else knows? Did you tell Ezra, Omen? No, it's not my trouble to tell. Ben and Ezra can be trusted for sure. Don't know about your boss and Merriman, though. I can trust them, and they deserve to know. We all deserve to know, actually. Not for the first time in my life, I feel the acute, damning weight of a truth that would be devastating to share. More than anything, it hurts. It hurts. The monster was Azazel. The monster that killed James. The monster by Harry's own designs. The choices he made to recycle the hunters, however he achieved that. I forced myself to breathe. This might not be a decision I can make alone. Omen's hand closes on mine. Alcar leans on his head on my shoulder, a low rumbling in his chest that's strangely reassuring. This is all a lot more tolerable with both of you here. Of course, we make everything look tolerable in hindsight. That's our trademark. Although it is only Alcar who gets into trouble instead of making some most of the time. Hey, I can get rowdy too. I snort, remembering how I first met the man to begin with, and press a kiss to his cheek. He makes a noise of protest, but then squints himself even tighter to me. Omen chuckles. I sneak a glance behind my shoulder, and sure enough, his tail is intertwined with Alcar's fluffy one. Aww. You two are making me envious that I don't have a tail. Speak for yourself, I do have a tail. It's just not shown, because I need to be standing up, and if I stand up, it's gonna, ruin the illusion of me holding up this flag here. Consider yourself lucky. So many brats exist who want to tug on it, hug it. It's a real pain. Honestly, fair point, fair point. Then I have the privilege of doing so. I'm touched. Well, and you're not a brat. Speak for yourself. Many people can attest that I am a brat. I mean, if I am a bottom, that is, but I'm not a bottom, so.
Not that we would love you any less if you were.
This really is what love is like, huh? You're both beautiful and I love you.
Funny. I think the same thing every time I look at you.
Smooth. Alcar wraps his arms around my shoulders, nuzzles my neck, and then pulls me down. Omen falls with a giggle, a gentle hand on my chest to assure me that resistance would be futile. I follow their lead. It's so cold enough in the cabin that having a demon prince and a 6'2" half Lycan cuddling you is a dream made flesh. Although the scenario is familiar. I'm ready for Aurora to fall down those stairs and interrupt us.
Shh! Don't jinx us like that. Now I have to put salt around the door.
But I have to come and go.
Oh shoot, you're right, sorry. I gotta go knock on wood then. Put some of the stinky herbs out and water off. I snort and grip his shirt so he doesn't actually get up. Not that he seems inclined to, but just in case. Okay, so salt is also a weakness to Omen. I see. I'm so wholly unshocked by that, honestly. Not that I would expect such romance from the nice proper man Ezra, but then again, it is kind of a small town. But Finn's been shagging all around the country for centuries now, so with him, it isn't rare. Omen politely coughs into his hand. Shh. Full around! Full around! Full around! Full around! Rise to my elbows and throw a leg over Alcar's waist. And straddle him, pinning his wrist to the bed. Would you like to see my offer for the good time? Ooh. Didn't you just put your clothes on? Well, now I can take them off. Just watch. Small matter. Owen's fingers carved through Alcar's hair, voice slow, sultry as had been last night. Easily fixed. Alcar opens his mouth but says nothing. He licks his lips and relaxes beneath me. That's ample allowance. He waits obediently under me, red eyes watching every move, every shift. He remembers the feel of me, of both of us, and it shows in how easily pliant he's become. My fingers trail down his wrist, ghosting over overheated flesh, and it rises to the touch. Omen grins at his eagerness, and I feel myself do the same. Alcar's nose crinkles and he snorts, clearly not amused with our fun. So this is the part where you tease me and have a good laugh, yeah? A laugh bubbles up so I can tell he's having a good time, despite his snark. He's trying hard to keep his accent at bay, but being surrounded by two people he loves and loves him in return has done wonders for his behavior. For example, hands no longer gentle and withdrawn find their way to his chest and press down on him to the mattress, leaning down nose to nose. Clothes quickly discarded. Oh, ah! I thought there wasn't gonna be another picture. Y'all didn't see that. I'm not sure if this picture is like good to show on Twitch. I guess this is fine. I guess. But look respectfully. I mean, there's no human titties. There's no nipple shown. There's no human booba shown. So I guess it's fine. Like there's no female booba. As in, I guess it's fine. I think. I don't know. That's here. I leaned down to kiss him and he eagerly rises up to meet my lips, but they barely just brush his lips in an upward motion. Has he always had black? Okay, that's black nail polish. I thought that was blue. It looks blue because of the shine. All good things come in time. We'll see how you last. The blush on his face quickly extends down to his neck, and Omen leans down to kiss the flushed skin.
Be good for us, won't you?
Oh God, no! Oh God, we're both topping Alcar. Oh God. I'm sorry, I'm like so flustered right now. I thought it was over it after the first time. But no. No, here comes the second time. Well, second time's a charm. The werewolf swirls hard at not one but two hunters looming over him now.
Oh, shit.
Here we go again. The next few days felt surreal as I relayed my encounter with James to those who most needed to hear. The revelations were met with both shock and horror, but mostly anger. Unsurprisingly, we all found ourselves with the very same question heavy on the tip of our tongue. Why? I can't deny that the world we live in is a terrifying and uncertain one, but it's all that I know, all that I've ever known. Ben tells me that even before the Revolution Day that there were unexplained disappearances, murderers, grisly things found but never spoken of. Corruption is inevitable in organizations such as this one, but for something so profound and nefarious to be going on right under our noses, I mean, I'm not surprised, it's the government! The government is always shady. I can't help but wonder if the ends justify the means in this little scheme that started in the brain of our leader. No, it does not. The cost is so high, the loss is vast and heartbreaking, and exactly when does it end? Where does the line get drawn when the divide between what's right and wrong is so very blurred? Would it have been safer for all of us to live in ignorant bliss all this time, or would they have overrun us eventually anyway? Maybe, but these are the cards we've been dealt, and Harold Addington has a dirty hand. I'm still biding my time, trying to gather any final scraps of information while I wait for word that Harry has reappeared. As I do most days now, I walk the town from one end to the other. Linares is easy to patrol, as small as it is, and the townsfolk seem almost relieved when I pass by. The enforcers have become such a suffocating presence here lately, and every time I encounter one, I can't help but feel like I'm being watched. Are they all in on this? I find myself in the woodland at the edge of the graveyard, the sun shining but the air crisp and cold. The grass crunches beneath my boots, and I see a path of destruction as I walk into an opening clearing. Anyone else would be alarmed to see the destruction I find, would likely suspect a creature had been the one to carve the jagged welts in the trunks of the trees, but I know what caused this, and it was certainly no creature. I find her a little further in, kneeling in the dirt, her head bowed. Beside her are two pieces of what was a training staff cracked down the center. I approach quietly. When she looks up, I see a blankness in her eyes, her expression sour. Piper. She forces a smile, her chest heaving with her labored breath, sweat slicking her flushed skin. Yui? She hauls herself from the ground, kicking aside the splintered wood with a grunt. And she retrieves two intact stars from a bag nestled in a pile of overgrown grass and holds it out to me. I know you've come to talk about deep shit, so how about you humor me and let me kick your arse while we're at it? I keep my gaze fixed upon hers and I take one of the staffs from her. So cocky. Piper shrugs, nonchalant and definitely cocky. You know I'm right. Our staffs meet with a solid thwack. The sapphire eyes meet me head on as Piper lunges forward with a grin. She's hyper-focused, strong, and I match her blow for a powerful blow with ease. Why are you out here? There's a trading room back at headquarters. Pepper rolls her eyes, wiping sweat from her brow with the back of her hand.
The less I'm around those traitorous idiots, the better. I cannot hold my tongue as well as most, you see.
Fair enough, Queen, fair enough. She launches herself forward again, and I have to step back a few paces when she pushes against the pressure of her crossed weapons. I lose my purchase against the muddy forest floor, skidding, and then she's drawing back, swinging again and again. Shit! I'm used to one-on-one combat, used to the intricacies. I can't fucking read of it! But Piper is no creature, and it's been a hell of a long time since I sparred with one of my own kind. Her staff makes a solid arc towards my leg, and in a vain attempt at darting out of her way, I find myself falling in an eloquent sprawl. The world tumbles until it reorients itself when I laid on my back, my head tilted back to see Piper standing above me with a far too smug smile upon her face. The hilt of her staff just barely grazes the arc of my very exposed throat, and I weigh out my options very carefully. Gotcha. Distractor attack, yield. I'm gonna save here just in case. Distractor. I seized the moment, taking advantage of her smug satisfaction. I swung upward with my staff, the angle terrible but not entirely useless as it serves its purpose, heading hers out of her hands. I jump up, brushing dirt and leaves and whatever the other crap lives in the Lunarian forest from my trousers, watching as Piper holds up her hands in defeat, her chest heaving. She eyes her set, but it's too far away for her to reach. Do you yield? Piper steps closer, taking my weapon in her hands and shoving. She scoffs, but her tone is playful when she responds.
You got lucky.
Hell yeah! I laugh at her, and she drops her hands, playtime over. She pauses, eyeing me warily. So, what did you actually come here for then? You've been avoiding me. Piper purses her lips, averting her gaze. She has been actively staying clear of me since the day after I woke up, but I've given her space and respected that the things I divulged would be difficult for her to swallow. But as time drags on, we draw closer to a point where we'll have to actually face all this corruption. And well, I need Piper, the only other hunter I can truly bring myself to trust. Most importantly, my friend. Aww, we're friends. It's almost time, you know. At least I hope. She pokes the dirt with the toe of her boot, as wonderfully defiant as she always is. I know. Want to get over with, right?
He'll crawl out of whatever hole he's scurried into, and everything will burn.
Her eyes are fierce and bright when she finally dares meet my gaze. Not everything. What he's done. She scoffs again, anger rolling off of her in messy waves that break over me, almost leaving me breathless. If I have to kill her, if she becomes what Azazel did,
I will tear the enforcers to the ground to avenge her if I have to.
he better have a really good fucking explanation for all of this, you know? He might sympathize, nothing could excuse it, condemn. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna condemn him because I always knew that he was evil. He gave me evil vibes, so I'm gonna condemn him. How could he? He's killed people. His own people. His husband, indirectly, but still, imagine that. I can't imagine it. I think about Omen and Alcar, knowing that everything I have, that I could never hurt them. I love them too much. It's unfathomable, and he'll pay for it. Fucking right he will. Then her shoulders slump, and she slowly looks around at the mess she's made of the clearing. I should go. I need to clear my head in a way that doesn't involve beating the shit out of trees. Or me. Or you. I'll see you around, yeah? Without so much as a second glance, Piper turns and disappears into the forest. I understand why she's hurting so much, and I wish I could help. And speaking to Harry, maybe I can. I approach the Ibex with the same level of caution and awareness I always do, even though I'm now quite well acquainted with its inhabitants. There's a young woman at the door who straightens when I approach. Something in that single movement, not to mention her attire and the pistols that decorate her holster, just a trained fighter. But when she meets my eyes, there's only curiosity there, not wariness. I remember Harry mentioning a guard who works at the Ibex sometimes. Lux, or Raven's partner. Perhaps this is her. Oh! Are you dating Raven? Hey yo, Raven's a lesbian! Let's go! Hunter Neon Pastel, I assume? I nod, offering a small smile. She praises me for a moment, and then her wariness fades. She sticks out a hand with great enthusiasm and grins from ear to ear when I take it. It's nice to finally meet you. Likewise, may I enter? She inclines her head and steps aside, arms crossed. I'm not gonna stop you. I give her a polite nod and quickly move along, able to feel her eyes on the back until the door swings shut and spares me from her attention. She seems nice. It's cold inside, even though it's daytime. The place is just as dilapidated as it was when I first visited. Towards the altar at the end, it seems like someone has been cleaning up. The floor is swept, a crimson cloth covers the altar, and seated upon it with their booted legs swinging, attention firmly fixed upon what looks like an embroidery hoop, is Elaine. Best demon girl, let's go! I love her! I wait a moment before approaching to give her some time to notice me, but her eyes and hands remain focused on her task. Eventually, I give up and just go up to her. She likely knows I was coming from down the street anyhow. She's anything like most demons I've encountered. Sure enough, there's no surprise in Elaine's brown eyes when she looks up at me, smiling warmly and setting her project aside. Hello, Hunter Neon Pasu. I stop and blink and Elaine frowns immediately, pressing a finger to her lips. There's a mellowness to her aura that doesn't put me at ease as he does, and as Elaine peers at me with open amusement and interest, I can't put it into words, but somehow I think I know why. I heard you encountered the creature. Yes, I did. Did Omen tell you? Elaine shakes her head, then shrugs. I'm sorry though, Yui. I take it you saw your kin in that chimera? This time, it's definitely a chill that runs down my spine. How did you... No? I've heard it crying, and I found its presence strange. I didn't investigate, though. Elaine covers her mouth with a hand, her brow furrowed as she stared at the red cloth beneath her seat. I didn't think it was your target. It was sad, not dangerous. You heard it cry? When? A little while ago now. Was a very sad thing, if it were once human. I quickly put a hand to my lips. No one knows that detail yet aside from those I've told, and Lex is just outside the door. Elaine blinks at me slowly, calmly. She tilts her head to the left, then to the right, sizing me up. Then she exhales. Is that disappointment or sadness that I sense? Are you looking for Omen? There's a distinct and uncomfortable feeling that the more I talk to Elaine, the more likely she'll get upset. That feeling is accompanied by the gut-deep knowledge that the princess is not like the prince. She wears a human glamour as firmly and easily as Omen does, and her eyes have the same kind cast. But she looks at me like a demon looks at a mortal, and I don't know if I want to see that version of me that's reflected in her eyes. Not right now. Not with Harry and what he's done weighing on my soul like a stone-hard burden. Yes, do you know where he is? Stay here. Elaine hops off, grabs her embroidery hoop, and ducks into one of the side rooms. As the last flash of her tail vanishes, the front of the temple also changes. Clean, slick stone floor becomes dusty and cobwebby again, save the imprint of her boots on the ground. The altar returns to its dusty state, and the red cloth thrown over it straight up evaporates. An illusion. I didn't even notice. I didn't even sense that there was anything wrong with such a large swath of the room. Before I can dwell too much on how Elaine managed it, a familiar figure emerges. Omen smiles with open relief when he sees me. He closes the distance between us in a moment, takes my hand in his, then presses a kiss to my knuckles. I thought you'd be busy until later today. I am, bud. I wanted to see you selfishly. Luckily you're here, but I can at least make it look like work, right? The sheer happiness radiating from him is its own kind of worth. Omen touches my face, his elegant fingertips tracing the line of my jaw. His eyes gleam. Well, I'm glad to see you. I missed you. Omen laughs softly, then winks.
I'm always glad to be a distraction.
Ayo! You're far more than just a distraction. Omen blinks. Then he laughs, quiet but so sweet, and his tail curls around the hands that I hold loose near my waist. I instinctively stroke it between my fingers. Omen smiles almost shy. Do you have some time? Of course. Lacing his fingers with mine, Omen gives my hand a gentle tug and guides me into a dark corner of the church. I honestly have no idea what he's trying to do to me, except that the hunter part of my brain is hilariously upset at how easily I'm being led away into the darkness by a demon prince. Who cares? My ovaries are crying right now. Soon, however, my curiosity is sated, for there, in a tiny crack of dirt below a pillar where the stone floor has been pried away, grows a bundle of glowing red flowers. I recognize the flora almost immediately. Brimstone lilies, named for the distinct ember-like glow they possess, and their penchant to bloom only when there is a demonic presence to feed off of. Pretty, and a telling clue for those like myself who know what they mean, otherwise their existence is useless. This church could probably use decoration if these things decide to overgrow here. You think so? It certainly beats the decrepit air faintly smelling of dust and despair. And it'll remind me of you.
Thank you. Then this is good. I was thinking you could keep it with you.
As I watch, he crouches down and reaches for the lilies. They tremble and visibly tilt in the direction of his hand, as though wanting to touch him. Omen twirls his fingers around the stem of three and pulls, yanking them from the ground. I half expected the fiery glow to immediately extinguish, as brimstone lilies are known to do when deprived of earth, but instead they glow even brighter, curling tight to his hands. He straightens, cradling them, and they glow brighter than dim, and Omen curls the stems tight together and offers them to me.
I hear that mortals trade flowers to express affection, so this is for you.
Oh, he's so cute. I love him so much. He's so pure. Tentatively, I take the gift from him. The lilies gleam bright still, and to my senses radiate warmth and a sliver of a presence not unlike his own. A keepsake. A very, very individualized keepsake, I realize. Omen, I hope it's not too much. He wraps his hands around mine, and the lilies flare a little bit brighter before subsiding again. Kiss him! I kissed him. I kiss him and hold on, relishing in the press of our lips and the way he kisses back, as soft as mine and then more forcefully. His long lashes brush my cheek. His glamour is damn good, and yet in this moment, my senses pick up the raw, gargantuan presence behind him too. Something familiar yet wholly alien, something that looms through its crouches, red hot coals pressed against my skin, yet neither burning nor ejecting me. Omen draws back, a secret smile on his lips, and a finger pressed firmly to mine, even as I try to chase him. His eyes are glowing in the dark, but they settle back into the ordinary, warm chestnut brown soon enough. Suddenly, I understand why humans look at demons and become so charmed. I understand where those stories of mad, inconsolable attraction come from. Hunter. The sound of my title is like a bale of cold water splashed at my face. I blink and jerk back, shaking my head. Then I kiss him again, on the cheek this time, in full control of my self-respite. I love you. I'm glad.
They won't die. Not as long as I live, anyway. I hope you'll think of me when you look at them.
Always. I carefully tuck the flowers into my belt, then wrap Omen up into a tight hug. He reciprocates, resting his chin on my shoulder. For a long, blissful moment, time stops. We're safe, together. But it must end. I have so much to say about the things that plague my mind. I should go. I have to gather my thoughts. His expression sours, but with sadness rather than disappointment. Ah yes, the Lieutenant General. What will you do? I need to confront him. I have to confront him soon as he shows his face. We can't allow this to continue. No, it can't.
It won't be easy. I'd rather you not have to stand before him on your own, with no backup.
I suspect August will be present. They need closure more than I do. But I don't think you should do anything anyway. If you're sure, I'm sure. Harry is an old, wily soldier. I'd rather not confront him with him knowing that I have your ear, if he doesn't know of our involvement already. But I won't do it unprepared. You have my word. I gave his hand a reassuring squeeze and let go. I should go.
There can be no change without courage, and no new beginning without betrayal of the old ways. Whatever choice you make, I have faith in you.
I almost laugh. A demon having faith? I know, right? Crazy. But Omen smiles. I step away with a life is as knowing as it's sad.
Faith is insurance against uncertain future. This is something we all share.
I'll remember that. As I'll remember you. That's gonna make me sound like that I'm gonna fucking die. Alcar is waiting for me outside the temple. Much to my lack of surprise, I've had the sense he's been keeping an eye on me more than usual since the encounter with the creature. I shoot him a grateful smile and Alcar grins back. He moves forward, half raising a hand, the only invitation I need. When I grip it, Alcar reads me in and then pauses. Didn't think I'd get this far. This far as in what? In me coming with, or us in general? I don't know. He grips my hands almost a little too tightly, a sort of awkward tilt to his smile, but his eyes are full of disbelieving delight. Giddy almost from what? Just from seeing me? Certainly it's what I'm feeling. Maybe not so awkward, maybe, but... Suddenly I understand just how new this must be for Alcar, to stand here holding someone else's hand and being in love. Aww, baby boy is flustered.
Just wanted to see you again.
Damn it, that sounds way too weird to say, huh? But did it feel good to say? Yeah. Yeah, it did. He lets go of my hands to take hold of my face, and suddenly seems to remember where we both are. Clearing his throat, Alcar lets me go, then not before pressing a quick sloppy kiss to my cheek. You're endearing, do you know that? Oh, you bet. Alcar's hand reaches for my face. It almost seems like he can't stop touching me, and a glance between him reveals a pleasantly empty street. I take his scarred fingers in my own and press them to my lips. The way I know makes his breath hitch. Don't worry about me, okay?
Easier said than done.
He casts the eye back a glance, a frown at his brew. Omen in there? I squeeze his fingers in reassurance, knowing how he feels about the twins. He's with Elaine. He's fine. Alcar hugs back until he trusts me. Alright. Omen says it's probably the best to give you a little space, sort of thing. So I can see his point and all, but I don't know. This isn't some small thing. Everything is a mess, I suppose. I'm not going to let all of it out, all of what we've learned, go if this is what you're worried about.
I didn't think you would. In fact, I trust that you won't. I know you're gonna try to do something about this mess. I don't want you to get hurt again. I already failed at that once, at keeping you safe.
Alcar's mouth keeps moving, but he can't seem to send the rest of his words through whatever is tripping him up, but I understand. Instinctively, I reach for my side where the creature had scored its hill. There is no lingering pain, true, but the memory is almost enough to bring back a shiver. The movement makes Alcar blink, and he's smiling. Nice flowers. You too, huh? I glance down at my waist at the glowing brimstone lilies now curled around my bow. Ah, yes. Listen, Alcar, it wasn't your fault. It was neither of your fault.
I know that. My head knows that. But that doesn't make the rest of me want to believe it.
No, sorry about that. I'm putting my hard feelings on you, and I don't mean to.
I should have more faith in you. After all, you made it this far. And if you're a general anything like Piper Marismash, it isn't like he's gonna chuck you out of a window that easily.
You know what? Fair enough, fair enough. It's a Mirror Smash? Surely you can, like, make up a better nickname for Piper. Just saying. Despite it all, the mental image is hilarious enough to make me laugh. I'd like to see him try. I don't think it'll come to that. Don't worry so much. I don't think it's going to come to that. Most enforcers have a measure of combat competence, sure, but I don't want to try it out if I can go up against Hunter Lane's field partner. The man who took down the infamous Leviathan Kazimar, amongst others. Who also happens to be my boss and the most powerful man in Escria. There are so many others of my higher-ups I would want to realistically have a chance of throwing down with that's not Harry, actually. Yui, can you appear more skeptical about my joke, please? What? I thought you liked trouble. Yeah, but what's the point if I ain't here to get into it with you? You know, Omen said the same damn thing about you. That's our boy. But I'm sure it won't come to that. I'm not a man of faith, but I'll have some just for you. Gee, thanks. I check to make sure the streets are emptied and decide to err on the side of caution and take Alcar's elbow. It's not hard to yank him into a quieter side street close by, and there I press a quick kiss to the corner of his mouth. Is that my insurance? Sure. What are you going to do, though? The question doesn't exactly catch me by surprise anymore. I've been wondering exactly that myself ever since James' little visit to my dreams. Ever since, well, all of this. And it isn't as though Omen hadn't just asked me the same thing. I have the sense that everyone is going to ask me this. I wish it was easier to answer every time it's brought up, isn't it? I'm going to confront him. I'll confront him. The thought makes me nervous. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Azazel, Piper's friend. Hunters, colleagues. Once, we might have been partners. Me, had I been less fortunate and circumstances had forced someone of my station to serve directly under Harry's nose. I don't think he'll fight fair if it comes down to a fight, but... Promise me. Alcar grips my hand and brings him to his lips. He presses his mouth to my fingers, and the look in his eyes is so fierce, so desperate, it makes something in me almost hurt.
Promise me that you'll make it. He's scarier than he looks, that one.
The way Finn's eyes get when he talks about his bastard of a sire, and he's one of the toughest motherfuckers I know, for Harry to have, you know, snuffed him. I forced a smile in an attempt to reassure him, if nothing else. Experiencing good old-fashioned cynicism, or perhaps realism, tells me it's not going to be that easy. But I think we both know that. Alcar scars his attitude, I think he knows. I don't think both of us care to hear the real, estimated truth. I promise.
Well, I'd better go and put more drinks on somebody else's tab before this town starts missing me.
Tell me you aren't trying to drain Finn's wealth within your lifetime.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. I broke into the catacombs once just to see how rich our man is. And he's loaded. It's not like the treasure would sit there and marinate if you don't spend it.
Honestly, fair point. Eat the rich. Go have fun, old man. You could pay taxes. Pay taxes to your boss? He has a point there. I have an appointment to catch with my enforcer anyway. Wow, I'll pray for you. Thank you. With a laugh and a shake of his head, Alcar shoves his hands deep into his pockets and ambles away, towards the tavern's direction. I wait until he's out of sight before heading my own way. The sun shyly disappears beyond the horizon as I step into the magic shop, passing what I seem to be Ezra's final customer for the night with a smile. He looks exhausted when I catch his eyes across the counter. He still smiles warmly when I approach. You look tired. So do you. Ezra lets a quiet laugh and Coco peeps loudly at him, peering from behind his seat with her usual attitude. He rolls his eyes before looking down at the feline, raising a dark brow at her almost accusingly. No, absolutely not. She chirps at him in return, and I swear she almost looks angry. I'm sorry? Sorry, it's nothing. Then he gently nudges Coco with his foot, and with a defiant flick of her tail, she darts through the purple curtain into the back room. Cats, eh? What's that supposed to mean, huh? He picks up a pile of books stacked up on the cash register and inclines his head for me to follow him. I oblige, watching as he pops each one of back into his rightful place.
How was your day? You feeling okay?
He turns, eyeing my side, knowing full well his magic healed me perfectly, and yet still finding the time to worry for me. Though unconsciously, I still press my hand over the place where the wound once lay, an almost phantom ache settling deep in my ribs. As if my body is aware that there should be something there. Physically, I'm fine. The last book gets pushed between its shelf mates, and Ezra turns to face me fully, concern etched upon his face.
Just physically?
You need to figure this one out before everyone gets hurt. I clear my throat, offering him a clipped smile. I just feel like I'm in limbo with the whole Harry situation. I'm supposed to be on my way to see August right now, and yet... You can't bring yourself to go. I shake my head, letting my hand fall numbly to my side. Still, I fight to keep the true extent of my worry off my face, pretending that the hurt, bitter undercurrents of the knowledge I was burdened with don't leave me feeling nauseous. For now, the only thing I can try to do is be honest, but try to be strong. For them, for all of them. No, I can't. Ezra smiles at me, an almost sympathetic edge to it. I do hope he isn't pitying me, but then Ezra is so very kind that I can't view it as anything other than innocent. Come, let me make you some tea? I nod, actually thinking how I could very much do with a cup of something warm to clear my head right now. Ezra fills the kettle, placing it upon the stove and stepping up towards me as he begins to whistle quietly. So I assume Gus will be with you when we meet with Harry? If so, I imagine you and them will be more than capable of handling anything he tries to throw at you. And I mean to ask, if you don't mind, of course. He stares me down with those wide, wise eyes. How are you going to approach him exactly? I mean, you've had time to process all of this, a little anyway. Condemn! I bite my lip, almost wanting to hold back the rage I feel boiling and bubbling in my chest. The things Harry has done, the things the Enforcers have done. Centuries of pain and suffering, tearing children from their families and turning them into monsters. I'll put a stop to this, finish it once and for all. He reaches for me across the table, taking my hand in his own and holding it tight.
You'll be careful, won't you? Promise me that.
I study him for a long minute, wanting to respond immediately and with conviction, but I'm unsure of what I might come to face. I'll do my best. We sit in silence for a little while, only to have it broken by a quiet tap tap tap. I'm guessing that's Finn? I look around and then down, realizing it's coming from underneath the floor. Ah, of course. Finn again. Ezra beams in when I look at him, and it pleases me to see them so happy once again. We both stand and Ezra reaches to unlatch the lock that keeps the opening to the catacombs locked, while I pull back the rug that covers it. When golden eyes appear in the darkness, I feel a chill roll down my spine. He immediately goes to Ezra, drawn to him like a moth to a flame, and he presses a quick chest kiss to his lips. Ah! Gay people! Hello, Angel. They lace their fingers standing close, and Finn turns his attention to me. Oh, he calls him Angel.
I came as soon as I sensed you were here.
Yui's on her way to see August. Finn crinkles his nose at that, apparently unimpressed.
I was hoping I could steal you away for a little while, actually. Not for anything nefarious. Fiyero simply longs to speak to you.
Oh? Oh? Does he have more information? He shrugs.
I'm not sure. He's not exactly a man of many words. If he's asked for you, then I'd take it that he has at least something to tell you.
He definitely isn't just wanting a friendly chat, that's for sure.
I see. Well, considering I'm still avoiding going to see August, we could go now. Excellent. Ezra clears his throat, his lashes dipping as he squeezes Finn's hand. His prosthetic comes alive, flickering in kind. You'll return? I always do, don't I? Ezra's quiet laugh is infectious. His eyes crinkling at the corners, he exudes happiness. You do. Come then, Yui, into the hole you go. Ezra and I both look at him with blank expressions, and Finn merely rolls his eyes, sighs, and ushers me onwards. We say goodbye to Ezra, watching as we descend into the depths of the catacomb tunnels. A shadowy figure awaits for us outside of Finn's quarters, and I smile when I see a shock of white hair and friendly crimson eyes. Hunter Nyampasu, it's a pleasure to see you again. It's good to see you too, under better circumstances this time. If I look hard enough, I swear I can see his mouth twitch. Fiyero studies me with a certain intensity for a moment, and I feel a strange sense of calm washing over me, but... He frowns. A blinking will miss a thing, but I see it before his face falls into that carefully calculated stoicism. I will not keep you long. I just want to thank you for finding me. I owe you a debt of gratitude for assisting me with my extraction. I gather you'll be meeting with the Lieutenant General soon? I swallow thickly, my throat tight all of a sudden. There it is again. That uncertainty, that push and pull of conflicting emotions that swirl in my gut and almost suffocates me. I nod a little too quickly, and though Fiyero doesn't show it, I know he can feel my unease. I will be, yes, whenever he decides to show his face. Finn scoffs at that, leaning against the jagged stone wall with a perfect kind of handsome nonchalance that not many could achieve.
If he ever decides to again. If I was him, I'd have left town the second the first body turned cold.
Fiyero continues to watch me, his stare unwavering. Well, the sooner the better. I quite like that all this be over. Indeed. Finn nudges him with his elbow, and Fiyero barely shifts, holding himself like some ancient statue in almost unnerving stillness. Tell her what you saw in the dungeons before you were rescued. There was a lot of commotion down there the night that you killed the creature. They were unorganized, clearly distressed. I watched carefully, and I saw something strange. A hunter, or what was once a hunter. Now I'm not so sure. I paled at the thought, remembering the way the creature looked at me as it lunged, teeth bared. And the way that my body told me I was fighting one of my own before I ended its life. His life. It was female, of that much I am certain. Oh, must be Aya then. She was wailing all night after they shoved her back into one of the cells. They must have been in a rush because they weren't as cautious in hiding her as they had been before. She's more whole than the other one, but whatever they've done to her, she's too far gone, driven mad, feral even. I never felt anything quite like that. An impossible flurry of pain and confusion, but mostly anger. Aya. No. Finn steps forward, seeing the way my eyes widen and my hands begin to shake. I can't face another. Yui. I look at Finn, noticing his concern over the way my heart lurches in my chest. I nod at him, exhaling a sharp breath to refocus. You sure? The quiet vampire nods. His lips purse into something that looks like an attempt at a grimace. I am certain, and I am also sorry. It's fine, it's expected, actually, just hurts to hear and have it confirmed. I nod. We will not let you face it alone. You will never be alone. Fiyero shares a look with Finn before nodding his agreement. I'll leave you now. Thank you, Fiyero. Yarbrough says a stiff bow as Finn pushes open the door to his quarters, making a beeline for the carafe? I can't fucking read! Of scotch upon his desk. Fiyero casts me a final, lingering gaze before he disappears into the darkness. I can't help but feel like he sensed something in me that he didn't like. But whatever it was, I'm unsure. I close the door to his quarters, finding him sitting upon his bed, 2 glasses of his favorite poison clutched in his hands. Would you like one? Looks like you'd use it. Yeah, I need it. I pry the crystal tumbler from his grip, nodding my thanks as I bring it to my lips. It's delicious, refreshing, and has just the right amount of burn as it slides down my throat, and I almost forget my troubles for a blissful moment. Thank you. He raises his glass towards me before he takes a sip of his own, humming his approval. I miss being drunk, you know? Just the peace it used to bring me, which wasn't necessarily a good thing, but oh, did I have my fun. Oh, same. I need to get drunk again. His laugh is wistful, and I wonder how long a vampire lives before they begin to forget their human days. I daren't ask him, for I don't want to sour the mood, but one day maybe. Surely there are ways for you to become inebriated, even if it's not quite the same. Yeah, you get high. I'm not sure if weed is a thing here, but surely Ezra can, make something that can make you high, right? I mean, he is a witch after all. Sure, there is. There are many ways, actually, but the buzzword is not before you can really even enjoy it. Besides, there are other ways to find pleasure. What do you mean by that? And I'm somehow sure if he's explored them all. I laugh at the way he waggles his brows, his pointed ears twitching alongside them. As he watches me, his smile fades, his dark brows drawn together. Yui, I can't help but notice.
Something plagues you.
He smirks and I raise a single brow almost accusingly, as if it isn't obvious what plagues me. I mean, would you like to discuss? I shrug as if the things that bother me are completely earth-shattering. I mean, they kinda are, but, sarcasm. There's so much riding on me, on a decision I make. I never expected to carry such a burden in coming here.
You shouldn't have to. It isn't fair, what you've had to endure. But you were the strongest and most capable hunter I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. And I have known many in my time.
He smiles, tilting his head. Lunaris is lucky to have you on its side. He drops his gaze to his lap, his brow twitching into a frown. Now tell me, what do you tend to say to dear old Harold when you finally face him? His eyes search my face as if looking for answers I don't know how to give, or don't want to give. I'm gonna condemn him! I ponder my response because, truly, my thoughts are still jumbled, anxiety mounting. But one thing I know for sure is that what Harry has done, is doing, is wrong. I'll confront him and expect straight answers. I want to know why he did it.
I just ask that you're careful. No sound-minded man would make the decisions that he has. Of that much I'm sure. You don't know how he'll react to being confronted.
He's right, and somehow that thought didn't cross my mind. But Harry cares for August deeply, and they will be by my side. I'm not sure Harry will want to bring harm to August or even myself. Finn looks at me like I've gone mad.
He's directly responsible for the death of his husband. You and August are just collateral damage at this point. He killed Levi, and that seemed like an impossible feat to me for a very long time. Centuries, even. He's strong.
Wow, absolutely no pressure at all. Thanks, Finn. I appreciate it. He had James to help him, didn't he? Finn scoffs, and I can tell his frustration is mounting.
You've seen his face and that pretty scar? He fought Leviathan Casimir, and he lives to tell the tale. And my sire? He's Ash. I spent centuries terrified of him, watching him terrorize whole countries just for fun.
I stare at him at the strange way he almost vibrates. Is it fear, maybe? Something long ingrained in him after the hell his sire put him through that the mere thought of the man has him shaking like this? Harold Addington put him down in one night with the same ease in which he put his boots on in the morning. So what, you don't want me to confront him? I suppose I should go then. I don't exactly sound convincing, in fact. I think I'd be quite happy to stay down here and hide away from my responsibilities or a little longer. But must be responsible, unfortunately. Finn shifts the stand, running a hand through his hair, rubbing at his chin. He's twitchy tonight, showing more signs of humanity than I'm used to from him.
I know I said it already, but be careful.
I smile at him, reaching for the handle of the door. I fought much bigger and much scarier things than Harold Addington. As the words leave my mouth, I feel terrible dread washing over me, and Finn notices.
Never underestimate your foe, especially when they have nothing to lose.
Farewell, Hunter. The bitch. I find August in their office, staring at their desk. It's rife with paper strewn in different stacks, but without its usual method. They look worse than usual, look despondent, almost as if they've given up being prompt and orderly, but I know that's not the case. August is adept at keeping the flow of reports moving quickly, a stickler for punctuality. I tap the door once with my knuckle, and they grant me permission to enter with a lazy nod of their head.
Days like today make me wonder if I should just pack all of this in and run home to my parents with my tail between my legs. Or maybe become a nomad or something.
I know that's not true, but the defeat in their tone makes me think they've been like this for some time. I don't think the nomad lifestyle is quite for you, August. They huff a laugh, sighing heavily, uncharacteristically slumped in their chair.
One day, hopefully soon, we'll be free from the shackles of all this corruption. I'll bring order to Lunaris. Or I guess I'll at least die trying. I've never been very good at quitting.
I look at the seemingly never-ending pile of parchments and take a seat before them, pointingly ignoring their macabre declaration. What is all this anyway? There seems to be more than usual. August shrugs, waving their hand dismissively over the mess.
Take your pick. Reports, complaints, and all of the petty bureaucratic bullshit that Harry usually deals with.
I so graciously offered to take some of his work off his hands when James passed. Their lips curl into a snarl, their teeth bared, and their next words are almost venomous, distinctly lacking emotion. Aren't I kind? They're tired, frustrated, overworked, and apparently overcome with bitterness. In one way, I'm grateful, seeing them upset and so downtrodden over Harry. I hated it, but this mood doesn't suit them. I truly long for a day where I see them well rested and appreciated. I just want to know you're going to be okay. You're working yourself to the bone. Another dismissive wave of their hand, and I gather I'm not going to get much more than that out of them. I will be fine, Yui. I have to be, don't I? I watch as they pinch the bridge of their nose, their weak argument not all that convincing. A quiet knock at the door grabs our attention, and the Tippett Jr. pokes their head around the frame, awkwardly raising their hand at August. General Wilhelm? They raise their bow at him, their impatience clear. What? He asked me to let you know when the Lieutenant General returned. Well, he's in his office. I just saw him. Thank you, recruit. You can go now, and do not tell anyone what I asked of you. I see the heavy bob of their throat and the flush that paints their cheeks as August quickly moves to stand, and with a nod, the boy scurries away. August and I share a look, and I wonder if they're thinking the same as me, that we're not ready. Or that we don't want this, scared of what we'll learn and what it'll all become real at long last. August places a trembling hand upon my arm, their eyes wide and bright, and when they speak, there's a sort of manic etch to their words, their voice.
I need to know how you feel about all of this before... I need to know because I cannot make up my mind.
Oh god, he's upset now. They're upset now. They tighten their grip on me, and for the first time since I've known them, August Wilhelm looks scared. God, they look so scared. Look, they have tears in their eyes. Jesus. I feel something thick in the air, a kinetic shift, an almost suffocating buzz. August breathed. They exhale sharply, and their aura is distinctly panicked. I place my hand over theirs and feel shock as our skin meets, but my touch calms them enough for their air to clear, so I relent and don't pull away. It's okay. It's going to be okay. No, it's not. It's not. They shake me up, tasting, angry tears trailing their cheeks.
Everything I worked for, everything I've ever stood for. I saw him as my mentor, a man who raised me with a kindness my father would never even dream of showing me.
Was I so blind by that affection I didn't see the evil in him? We're gonna condemn him. I shake my head, knowing August is not a bad judge of character. Harry's just good at manipulating, or spectacularly talented in dissociation. You weren't to know August, none of us knew, or could possibly dream it might be him. No, I truly did. Like, from the first glance, I knew that man was evil for sure. They scoff, rolling their eyes.
I followed him about with doe eyes, lapping up any scraps of approval he dared to lavish me with. I've always been desperate to be acknowledged and told I'm doing a good job. He gave that to me in abundance.
I don't believe he realizes that what he's doing is wrong. That doesn't excuse it, nor does it make you complicit. August laughs at that, a maniacal sound.
No one evil ever sees themselves as so. I've encountered it enough to know that much.
We stand in silence for what feels like forever, both of us gathering our thoughts, our courage. This isn't going to be easy, or even marginally fun, but... shall we? Before I get the chance to finish my sentence, I hear the all-too-familiar heavy thud of boots in the corridor. Oh shit, it's time! It's confrontation time, boys, let's go! I'm gonna save just in case, because I don't trust myself, so boop! There we go. So, yeah, let's go, boys! And then the Lieutenant General Harold Addington appears in the doorway, a smile upon his face.
Good evening, both.
Unconsciously, I find myself tensing, bracing for what's about to come. If only this man was a hunter, someone that could read past the look on his face and basic human cues. If Harry is an evil man, he's adept at hiding it. His smile is kind, even now, and I wonder if he has any idea what kind of situation he's walking himself into. Sir? Harry nods at me, his eyes flicking to August, who is quite visibly distressed and poorly attempting to hide it. I look at them, offering them a clipped smile, hoping it might help them keep it together. Lest we both fall apart. Harry, it's good to see you looking well. Their words are forced. Harry doesn't appear to be planning on staying long, his gauntlet-long sword and coat remaining in place. Instead, he eyes us both as he crosses the room, stopping in front of the fireplace that flickers invitingly.
I have to apologize for my absence. As I'm sure you can imagine, I haven't exactly been in the right frame of mind to hold the whole country on my shoulders, let alone Lunaris.
You don't say!
I'm sure it's been very difficult for you.
They're struggling and mostly failing to keep the exasperation out of their voice. At this point, I wonder if it's just easier to tear the bandage off the wound, expose the rotting flesh, lest August truly cast a storm upon this building. I step forward and August stands quickly, their chairs scraping along the marble floor.
Is something wrong, Augustus? You don't look well.
Yes, I want to say, they are falling apart much like your town, your country, because you're part of the government and the government is shit. I quickly wade through the dark tangle of emotions that threaten to engulf me and I clear my throat. We need to talk to you. Harry nods, still poised, still apparently completely clueless. I look to August and they are in no state to initiate this conversation. Their hands are shaking, and I gather that we're just seconds away from a messy display of untamed magic. Yui? Harry quickly looks between us, finally focusing upon me when he sees that August is a lost cause.
Speak. Now. You're beginning to alarm me.
We're aware of what you're doing and what you've done. The dead hunters, the missing hunters. He blanches, his skin goes pale, but he's no fool. And Harry's just from someone who's just been caught with blood upon their hands to someone painfully in denial in a split second.
I don't know what you're talking about. I ordered you to Lunaris to solve this mess, and you stand here and accuse me.
August scoffs loudly.
And you will stand here and lie to us so easily.
What evidence do you have of the supposed indiscretion you accuse me of?
Oh shit, we don't really have any evidence, do we? He says it quickly, defensively, but the words are heavy upon his own tongue. Then I use the most powerful weapon I possess. James. Harry freezes, truly turning pale now, all color draining from his ruddy cheeks, his eyes wide with shock and fear and in pain at the utterance of his husband's name. I swear that if I listen closely enough, I can hear the furious pounding of his heartbeat as it tries to tear free from his chest. He swallows thickly, then he laughs. Though it's a manic sound, the laugh of a desperate man. You spoke with him again? For the briefest moment, I feel sorry for him. The way he looks at me, almost longingly, desperate for even a scrap of information on his dearly departed. It seems selfish that I would be the one James would choose to communicate with, but he was a good man through and through, and you could see Harry's madness, knew the right thing to do. I'm gonna save here just in case. I feel like the right thing to say would be he wants you to stop. If I say he still loves you, that's like me like not confronting him. Like that's just gonna be like me like enabling him. So I feel like this is the right way to go. James doesn't want this, Harry. None of us want this. You have to stop now before it gets even worse. I look at August and they're still seething. Their jaw tightly clenched, hands balled into fists at their side. God, they really need a huge ass vacation once all this is over. They suck in a breath and drop their gaze from Harry, as if they feel too much shame in looking at them. For a fleeting moment, Harry looks wounded.
You must stop, Harry. It's already gone too far.
He frowns, dropping his gaze, but there's no warmth to him anymore. Not even the disapproval of his lost beloved can shame him now.
I will see it through. I have to. I owe it to mankind.
Ah, so he's not denying it.
You disappoint me.
August's words are venomous, biting.
Tell us what it is. The blood? The elixir they gave to them when they're merely children.
Harry drags trembling fingers over his face. In the neck gesture, he could easily be that 20-something enforcer that I saw in my dreams. He looks lost. He closed his eyes, and when he next speaks, I can hear a lifetime's worth of pain in his voice.
Of course it was. Is. What else could it possibly be? It's always blood, isn't it?
Oh, God.
I am sorry I've hurt you, Augustus. I thought you might understand.
What makes you think we would understand this? Especially not Gus. Like, Gus is, like, going through, like, so much stress right now, bruh. Come on. August bristles at that, and I sense a seismic shift in the way they hold themselves. They angrily swipe the silent tears that streak their cheeks, and magic swirls about their fingers in messy undulations.
I thought you a friend. A father, even. You've killed people. Our people. We swore to protect them as they swore to protect mankind. We're responsible for them. They put their lives in our hands and trusted we will not put them in danger.
Honestly, even though, like, I knew that this was gonna happen, I knew that Harry was behind all this, I still feel so bad for Gus. Like, they are going through so much right now. I take a step closer, placing myself in front of them, between them.
We take them from their families when they're children and raise them to believe we're giving them the chance to save the world. When all we gave them was a curse. You took advantage of their trust in you. and you sentenced them to die the second you placed that vial in their hands and told them to drink.
Harry watches them with an almost deluded level of disbelief, as if he couldn't possibly imagine August defying him in such a way.
And what of mankind? They'll overrun us one day, sooner than you think.
I place my hand upon August's arm, tugging gently at them as they move a step forward towards him. But August shakes me off.
I'd rather mankind die an honest death, instead of turning into fucking monsters.
They shove a finger in Harry's direction, your cheeks pink with anger.
You are wrong.
Sorry what you guile! Your voice is a rasp of itself, a lost, almost childlike pain threading through their words, harsh enough that Harry flinches. Though his expression is still startlingly cold.
August, do you not see? I wanted us to be on even footing. I came to realize how unfair it is that they hold such an advantage over us. They can do things we could never dream of, and we have these hunters just at our disposal. The untapped potential that lies within them is beyond anything that we can imagine.
At your disposal? Motherfucker, we volunteered our lives to save humanity. We didn't volunteer to be turned into monsters. Then he turns his gaze to me and he smiles.
Do you realize what this could mean for you? How much more you could be?
Then he makes an almost arrogant, greedy noise. In that moment, I see the Harry that I thought I knew, that August thought they knew, turn to ash. Replaced by a man driven mad by frustration and now greed.
Instead of asking, am I ready to take on our enemies, you would think, there is no stopping me.
Deplorable, unforgivable. Kill! Answers for your mistakes, and yet I understand. No, we're condemning him. When the initial rush of commingled horror and fury wanes, I clear my throat and address Harry with such confidence as I can muster. Tell us what you did to them, how you did this, so we know how to undo you. Harry appraises me, clearly not impressed with the tone in which I give him, but he considers me regardless.
You're curious to know how I made them better? How I can help to even the odds?
I am. Tell me how you made me better. I try to feign interest, hoping to appeal to Harry's arrogance. He might have been driven to desperation, but I can see his tells. He's proud of his idea. He hums a sound of approval and begins.
A hunter is just a vessel, well-trained and disciplined, not always worldly, but refined to kill. We have provided you with nothing but the best tools to take on your target. Even the most meager of whelps are turned into seasoned soldiers. Resilient individuals, remarkable results. However,
he sighs, disappointed.
Remarkably uninspiring.
Disgust wells up in my throat at its callous comment. Remarkably uninspiring, you say? The anger I feel is unmatched in kind with August. Their aura is palpable, the air brimming with electricity. August is no hunter, but they were raised to be the best, conditioned to be nothing but the best. It was practically written at their birth.
I know it's upsetting, but please know I'm not disappointed. We merely mean to uplift you with the initiation. It was crafted to prepare you and protect you. We do not go into the field without knowing the danger, and we all experience loss in some form or another.
His speech cracks for a mere second. I know all the loss he talks about. I've seen it. But is that enough? As quickly as it goes, his posture uprights again.
The elixir is a means to a promising end. It threads together the strengths of our foes without the consequences of their inherently evil nature. By imbibing this, it gives hunters the edge they need.
Harry continues, and he's enchanted with his own words. To be better than them is what he considers a passable means to change us. I wouldn't be surprised if he told us he was disappointed in our human design.
The drawbacks, or curse, as you would so inelegantly put it, is merely an unfortunate side effect of its blessing. Like all science, there is trial and error. I have seen the errors and made strides to correct them.
Just like the Chimera. I think Harry might be irritated with how plainly I lay out that I already know, but instead he nods, something like respect crossing his features. As your speculations have led you to believe, yes, the Chimera is such a result. And then his face drops at the name. Clearly you are perceptive of how much is still a question, but bear in mind that this is a sacrifice for me too.
And why didn't you take it?
August finally finds their voice again, but it's hoarse, venom spilling from every word.
If the consequences were so great and you were so desperate, then why didn't you take it upon yourself? Speaking of sacrifices like you count them as your own, but you still used others for your own means.
Playing with creation by his whims and tossing aside the victims as fortunate accidents. How are we expected to believe in your sacrifice when it barely comes across that you understand where we stand? You used us. Harry looks to the both of us, this time without remorse, and the scene playing out is unfamiliar. I don't remember Harry looking so scornful.
The sacrifices are my own. The blood is upon my hands, and it is a burden I am willing to carry if it means we can defeat them. I am expected to lead them, to guide them, make sure our path is set straight.
You can reduce yourselves to mere tools if you wish, but what I do is for the greater good.
I may not partake in all your battles, but that does not mean I don't lose myself in this war. Besides, I'm not worthy, am I? I'm no hunter after all.
He turns back to me now and raises his chin, staring past his nose at me.
Tell me, hunter, provided you had the choice to find a way to protect the things and people that you love as I have, would you do it?
Would I? The question rattles around in my brain, as do all the other words I have stood witness to, but more quickly than I had thought my gut responds. Would I do everything to protect Alcar and Omen? Absolutely. I would. There's a pause and Harry exhales. His eyes flutter shut and he smiles with some relief. When he opens them, they are less harsh, more inquisitive to us, as though the three of us have a trivial spat.
Then you understand why this must continue, and, most importantly, why I expect your full cooperation.
No, we're gonna stop you. Condemn him but lie, condemn... This is interesting. I'm gonna save here just in case. But... fuck. Alright, so... Heads, we're gonna condemn him but lie. Tails, we're just gonna condemn him. Heads, condemn him but lie. So, I'm gonna save here again, just in case, because you may never know. It's condemn him but lie. The look August shoots me is sharp, incredulous, their expression cracking open to reveal a vulnerability I've never seen before. It's beautiful but frightening in its own way, as if I can hear them say, no, don't. I hold their gaze, hoping that they can see what I'm doing, that they trust me. Please. They exhale sharply, their eyes frantically flicking between Harry and I, and then they nod. It's quick enough for Harry to miss, but his focus is upon me and me alone. I'm the one he wants, the one he needs. Though I know my words are not honest, it still pains me to say them. Yes, I understand. He had my cooperation. Harry inclines his head, gesturing for me to follow him. I still thickly unmoving, literally stuck to B spot beside August as I come to terms with what I'm about to do. They're falling apart, their magic aglow in messy fissures across their skin like cracks in porcelain. I want to tell him that I have to do this for the sake of Lunaris, to learn what he plans so we can defeat him or whatever he has in store for us. And yet I can't, so August looks at me as though I've just signed the town's death warrant. August. They shake their head, averting their gaze.
Get out.
Oh, I did a fucky-wucky, didn't I? Harry lets out a deep chuckle, his eyes crinkling at the corners in genuine amusement.
Always so dramatic. Come now, we cannot waste time convincing someone as stubborn as Augustus. They'll come around eventually.
I throw them one last lingering look, hoping with every fiber in being that August can see through my facade. That they can see I am still loyal to them, to the town. And that I would risk my own life to head into the lion's den with the lion himself guiding me gently by the hand. The drip, drip, drip of water upon stone drowns out the rush of blood in my ears, and I follow the tall figure deeper into the darkness. His boots are heavy, steps echoing, and I can hear the gentle scratch of his claw-tipped gauntlet as he drags his fingers across the metal bars of the cells as we pass. Enforcer guards line the walls, and they stand to attention, eyes wide. I slowly begin to see why the enforcers had so dolefully followed this nefarious path. They're terrified. We come to a halt outside one of the farthest cells that sit in a dark corner of the dungeon, and Harry stands before it proudly and almostly lovingly gazes into its eyes. Take a look, Yui. He gestures for me to step closer, his voice warm and inviting. Then I swallow away the fear that claws up my throat, threatening to choke me. I nod, stealing my gaze as I step forward and peek between the bars. I see a mask looming in the almost darkness. It's her her misshapen form unidentified as neither human nor creature. With a quiet whimper, she opens her eyes.
Isn't she beautiful?
Aya. Harry hums a satisfied noise.
My proudest creation yet. She is truly a work of art. Don't you agree?
You're just a bastard. Like, you're really fucked up, dude. She's perfect. Lied to Harry. She's a monster. I'm gonna save her just in case. She's perfect. Like, clear my throat. Though I feel horror from seeing her, I always feel drawn to her. There's a strange, almost undeniable connection that's throbbing between us, and as though I can feel a lingering sense to her humanity of the hunter within her. Strangely, it sings to me like a prayer, and I find myself having to pay mind to the fact that I am still here to lie to gather information. It still leaves me feeling sick. There's something about seeing her, that makes my blood turn cold in my veins. She's perfect.
Not quite. But she's close.
What do you mean? Oh god, he's gonna shove me in there, isn't he? Harry sighs and Aya lunges forward, sharpening teeth snapping. He remains unaffected despite her violent display, and he simply inclines his head towards her, watching her with unabashed fondness.
She was an unwilling subject. Both of them were. I think that may be where I've been going wrong. To succeed, to achieve what I've always longed to, I believe the hunter in question must be prepared to undergo the transformation.
He's gonna turn me into one of them, isn't he? I look back towards the cell, and Aya had once again retreated into the darkness, no longer visible other than a pair of glowing crimson eyes. Is this what you're asking of me? Harry pauses, carefully considering his response. Why do you think I called you here? I asked for the best, and they sent me you. At first, I thought they were toying with me. This hunter who befriends those who make a point of defying me?
The curious witch, the vampire who so desperately longs to be human, the disgraced hunter, the wolf, and the demon who so graciously weakened the barrier between realms without even realizing. And then there's Augustus.
He smiles, something sad, his lashes dipping.
I did hope they would see reason, but something seems to have made them less helpless, less easily swayed.
Regardless, come, I have much ado. I cast Aya a final fleeting glance, then steal my gaze as I follow Harry out of the dungeons. My heart hammers loudly as we approach August's office, but the lack of light streaming from beneath the door tells me that we'll find it empty. Harry touched when my suspicions are confirmed, and he looks at me with a sad smile when we step inside.
I did hope they'd still be here. Maybe you would have been able to convince them to help.
I offered him a clipped smile, trying my hardest to seem complacent. Now the terms of our agreement. He flexes the fingers of his gauntlet, the steel creaking quietly.
Aya is increasingly volatile, and I loathe to admit that I can't control her any longer. So, I want to waste no time. We'll start you on your first dose right away.
Huh? And he reaches into his coat and produces a vial. It feels eerily familiar, and the sight of dark, viscous liquid encased with delicate glass makes me feel sick. He holds it up high, gazing at it, shamelessly proud of its nefarious creation.
You know, I would give anything to be able to take it. I suspect I would withstand it quite beautifully.
The moonlight that shines through the window hits the glass, the liquid more black than red than I remember from my dream, and my stomach churns.
But we can't all have what we wish for, can we? Instead, we'll do it together.
Please don't tell me I'm gonna be forced to take it, right? He tucks the vial back into his pocket, patting the heavy fabric.
Now, I suppose you'd better go home and get some well-deserved rest. You'll need your strength. We'll begin tomorrow.
My stomach churns and I nod curtly. Yes, Lieutenant General. He laughs, stepping forward to rest his hand upon my shoulder, and fixing me a gaze that, through earnest, sends a chill rolling down my spine.
Please, call me Harry.
I contemplate my next move. I could drag myself back to my room at the Wolf and drown in misery alone, I suppose. They say hunters sleep with one eye open, but enforced sleep with two, and you don't get as far as Harry without paying full attention. There's no use hating him, not now. I've seen what I need to do in order to make my choice. And yet, it still hurts, and a strategic path in me loathes the fact that I'd lied. That I'd gone with him down there, witnessed the true horror of his crimes. Though I have some explaining to do, I know it will be worth it. Especially now that I think about Aya and Piper and August. An enforcer passes me, sparing me a glimpse before they quickly avert their gaze, their head down. They scurry away from me quickly, and I almost smile, fascinated how fast gossip apparently travels in our dear agency. With a heavy sigh, I decided the best thing to do will be to sleep off this evening and to face the wrath of my friends in the morning. By the time I make it back to the inn, there's a headache brewing between my eyes. The road home has been suspiciously peaceful, at least devoid of both friends and foes, and while half of my mind tries to convince the rest of me that this is a good thing, the other half whispers that this is alarming. What had happened when I'd seen the Lieutenant General himself, his fucking pride. I hardly know what I want to do. Scream? Slam my fist into something? Skip town and go rogue? The options are endless and ridiculous. Instead, I opened the door to the tavern and immediately yanked aside into a crushing hug. For a moment, I genuinely think I'm being attacked, but Alcar's low relieved laugh in my ear gives me pause. I hear the sound of the door shutting, and then someone else warm and also ridiculously strong joins the embrace. My boyfriends! Thank you for the warm greetings. But my ribs. I'm put down, though reluctantly. Alcar turns my face to his and gives me a grin, his red eyes sharp as they sweep over me. It's Omen who speaks first. August came running to us and told everything.
I have to admit, when Willenheim came running, I thought that bastard had you in a monster-shaped meat bag already. But no. Turns out, you're just being fake evil. Smart.
Oh, so August does know. Okay, cool. Alright, nice. August knows. So they were just playing along. Gotcha. I blink. Had August been that upset? Had I played the possibility of being overheard occurs to me. I shake my head and glance at the tavern behind Alcar's tall figure and find it curiously empty. A glance at Omen earns me a mischievous wink and a squeeze of my hand. I catch his hand and kiss his knuckles and pretend not to notice when his cheeks go red. Thank you for not doubting me, I suppose. Alcar's wolf ears flat pressed against his hair. He turns away, muttering something I can't quite catch.
We know who you are well enough. And if you hadn't been who we thought you were, well...
Omen steps away, eyes downcast. Before I can do so much as reach for him, he's raised his gaze again, and he's smiling at me. Could be his only matter if it's reality. I'm glad you're alright. And that you're here. A persistent tug on my wrist, Alcar guiding me to a nearby table, the three of us sliding into those chairs, and for the first time in what feels like an impossibly while, I allow myself to relax. Almost instantly, every tense moment during the day seemed to flood back. What did August tell you exactly?
That you told your dear old boss you're going to play along, but that's all.
Alcar strokes the back of my hand with the thumb, the guilt playing on his face to see. I chuckle, but maybe it does sting a bit that he had doubts. So that's fair enough reaction to any creature with self-preservation to have towards hunters, I suppose.
They were quite worried. I think it would be good to inform them of the truth later on.
I will, soon. Everything will have to be soon. We don't have much time to prepare, and even less to make sure things go right, or as well as they can.
About damn time. It's been way too long since we've had some real fun around here.
Hell yeah! Screw the government! Omen lays a hand on Alcar's arm, and Alcar rolls his eyes. Are you alright, Yui? No one told us that what really happened between you and the man. I've been prepared for the answer. Am I alright with all of this? Well, of course I'm not fucking alright. But I'm holding up, and my experience between all of the lost comrades and close calls, that's as good as alright. I'm rattled, that's the truth. It's hard to put that into words, and I realized. I understand. Omen says it with genuine sympathy. I glance up at him, suddenly curious.
We might both have you as our favorite person, but that's not the only thing we have in common, you know.
Oh, really? Pray tell me more.
In as much detail as you would like.
Even better. You can tell me all of your favorite things about me.
We can take turns. I could use some good reminders right now, honestly. We can do that. He grins, rubbing his cheek to mine, and then taking my hand, Alcar gets to his feet and pulls me up.
You very much deserve it.
Hell yeah, I am so fucking stressed right now. I'll hold you to that. I tangle our hands together again and pull them to the stairs. There's much to do, so much. But all that, we will do tomorrow. Tonight, I think I deserve my rest and my company. Are we gonna fuck again? Nope. We are not gonna fuck.